Lines are now closed. Do not call or text. The following show is controversial and contains content you may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. 98FM.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Tuesday evening, Tuesday, the 7th of March 2017. And how are you tonight? Hope everything is good with you, and I hope you can stay with us between now and midnight tonight. This is Adrian Kennedy. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks. On tonight's programme, amongst other things, we're going to be talking about whether or not prisoners should get medical cards. It's a proposal that is circulating. We're going to be finding out how you feel about that. We'll also be asking whether or not it is the responsibility of barmen to take away the keys of customers that they know are drunk, take away their car keys. Is that something that we should put the responsibility on barmen to do? We'll talk about that later on. And we also want to find out what you are OCD about. I'll explain all in just a while. Stay with us from now until midnight tonight.
98FM. The show getting Dublin talking.
98FM's Dublin Talks.
I'm Adrian Kennedy, and that man there is Jeremy. So it's a Tuesday.
And we have a lot of stuff to get through on the show, including news. Not all news has to be gloomy and serious news. Sure it doesn't, because...
No, it doesn't.
You know the way people get fed up with gloomy news and stuff like that. So for this part of the show, we bring you sometimes the lighter side of news. Now, first of all, I want to start off with something that we meant to talk about yesterday. And there was a whole big hullabaloo and rigmarole and fracas and all that sort of jazz about this particular issue. And we were shocked that we couldn't get a response about it. I'm talking, of course, about Showbox and other movie streaming sites and how popular they've become. And the reason we were talking about this in the office yesterday was because myself and Adrian both noticed that on Facebook lately, Facebook is full of people admitting that they are watching movies on Showbox. Now, can you explain, Adrian, to those people who don't have it or haven't got a clue what Showbox is? Explain to them what it is.
Showbox is an Android app that you can put onto your phone or your tablet.
Okay, so if you have a phone that's not an iPhone, any phone that's not an iPhone, you can get Showbox.
An Android phone. It doesn't work on Windows phones either. It's only on Android phone.
Is there such a thing as a Windows phone?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
It only works on Android phones, and it's an app, and through this app then you can stream bloody anything. Movies, television shows, you name it, it's there.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how simple this is to work. I have it myself on my phone. I watch TV programs on it. Anyway, explain, Adrian, what happened when we tried to contact people about this. Okay, here's the thing. We were trying to find out yesterday whether or not Showbox is illegal. Is it illegal to stream movies online? And I'd love to hear from you if you use Showbox or you regularly stream movies online. Do you feel like you're breaking the law? Do you feel like what you're doing is illegal? So what happened, Adrian? Explain.
We haven't been able to get any answer from anybody. Basically, that's the summary of it. We've made loads of phone calls. Our Katie spent all day yesterday making phone calls to like Universal Pictures, to what's the name of that other organisation? The first one. Oh, MPLC or whatever they're called. Basically, they're the organisation that represents all of the movie companies. Yeah. Anyway, we were trying to get an answer from any one of them as to whether or not using Showbox is illegal. And could we get an answer? No, so we still don't know.
Well, we looked into it ourselves, and we tried to find out. And from what we believe, it's not actually illegal to watch it. Sure, it's not.
My understanding is a European court ruling said that it's not illegal to stream material as long as you don't hold the material, as long as you don't download it. So if you don't download it, then I don't think you're breaking any law. Oh, what are you watching here?
Now, I have Showbox, as I said, on my phone, and within 5 seconds, I've been able to load up. Have a listen. I've been able to load up that movie Sing. You know, the animated movie, which is like brand new. And there it is.
All right, come on, here we go. Come on.
And what's the quality like?
Perfect DVD quality. Look at that.
Okay, it's all right, you know.
Now, the reason, as I said, I was talking about this was because somebody one of my friends put up on Facebook on Saturday night, watching Sing on Showbox with me and my 4 kids. They love it. And I was thinking to myself, that's 5 people that didn't pay anything to watch this movie that didn't go to the cinema. And I think if things like Showbox, and I'm not trying to be fuddy-duddy here, and because I've done it myself, but I think if people continue to stream movies online, they're going to kill cinemas. Cinemas are going to be out of business.
Well, I would argue with you, last year and the year before were the busiest years in Irish cinemas.
I don't believe that
That's
at all.
true. I got the statistics yesterday.
I don't believe that
last year and the year before. Here, go to the cinema tonight and you'll see the place is packed.
How am I going to have time to go to that? I haven't got time to organise that now.
Well, okay, not now, but
say tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow evening go to the cinema.
But will they be as packed as they used to be?
Yes, they are.
The point is...
You were at the cinema the other day. Was it busy?
No, it actually wasn't.
Oh, wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
There was only 10 people in the cinema.
Oh.
Great movie, though.
What did you go and see?
Well, I went to see that movie, Patriots Day, which is the movie about the Boston Marathon bombers. Absolutely brilliant movie. Best movie I've seen in a long time. But I got home after being to the cinema and went on to Showbox, and lo and behold, there's a perfect DVD quality copy of that very same movie on Showbox. Now, as I said, there's Sing
Okay.
on my phone.
Anytime now.
So rather than going to the cinema and paying money, I can watch this free of charge. Do people... I don't know.
Like we said, we put in requests with several of the movie companies with their umbrella organisation looking for somebody to tell us something about this and the legality or otherwise of it. From
what we believe, it's not illegal to stream movies. Because if it was, I wouldn't have done it on the radio now because I'd be breaking the law. But as Adrian said, we contacted the relevant authorities and we said, listen, it's 98 FM here. We want to highlight this and we want to let people know if it's illegal or if it's not illegal, whether or not they should be using Showbox or not. No one available to talk.
On holidays.
Yeah, on holidays. So you only have yourselves to blame. If people are infringing your copyright, I'm sorry, you only have yourselves to blame.
Paddy.
Yep.
How are you, Paddy?
Good, yourself?
Paddy, you know how it works.
I think so. As far as I know, like the likes of Showbox and other websites and stuff, they'll register a domain. I think it's in Haiti or Fiji or somewhere like that, where they don't have very strict privacy laws.
Yeah, I heard it was in Russia, actually.
There's a few of them. Yeah, but what would happen is eventually, copyrights would get a ban on that website. So, for example, like watchmovies.com. So they will ban everything from watchmovies.com. But then what will happen is watchmovies.com will open up a new website, watchmovies1.com, and then it
has to go through the whole legal thing again to get rid of it.
Back to square one,
and do you use Showbox yourself?
I don't actually know. I tried to download a year ago and it just didn't work for me, so I sort of just gave up.
Well, I mean, it works absolutely perfect. Here's another movie that's out in the cinema at the moment. It's brand new in the cinema. Hacksaw Ridge, it's called. The new Mel Gibson movie. Absolutely brilliant movie. I went to see it in the cinema, and there's perfect DVD quality copy of Hacksaw Ridge.
It's bizarre. What's most bizarre is, like I said, the movie companies, we offer the opportunity to come on the show and explain whether they think it's illegal or not.
Well, no, it's not a movie company issue. It's more a copyright.
Yeah, but obviously the movie companies own the copyright. Sorry, go on, Paddy.
It's not illegal if you're streaming something, because you're not actually technically in possession. It's not illegal for you guys to do it. But like I said, whoever uploads it, they're the ones that the Universal Studios have to go after, and like I said, it's so difficult to chase them.
Okay, but let's stop talking about the legalities of it and whether or not it's illegal. Do you think it's morally right that I would watch, say, that movie Sing on my phone now free instead of paying to go to the cinema to see it?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't really like the cinema because I think it's far too expensive, so morally, no.
But no, you can't. But I love the cinema. You can't beat the cinema experience. No. I love the cinema.
Yeah,
I have to say.
I'm the same. The cinema.
I mean, if I had a choice of watching a film that I really wanted to see on my 6-inch phone or on a huge screen,
I can put this. I can put this up on my telly at home.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can watch these. You can stream them from your phone onto your telly.
Oh,
no, but still, I agree with you, Adrian. The cinema is a night out. It's a date. It's an experience. It's not the same as watching it at home.
No.
But every second friend of mine is now using Showbox. And I'm telling you, and I know Jason's after texting and saying, stop rocking the boat, lads, and highlight. Jason, there's not a person in the world, even my mother knows what Showbox is. Everybody knows what Showbox is.
yeah, of course they do, yeah.
What?
Of course they do, yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's how... you see, what I don't understand, the bit I don't understand is how... is that available from the Android store, or do you get it somewhere else?
No, you don't buy it from the store. You go onto the website. I'm not. Am I even allowed to explain how you get it? Probably not. Or am I? I don't know. Who knows?
To the best of my knowledge, it's not illegal.
I don't know. We do not know the legalities of this. That's the whole thing. You basically you Google it.
Yeah.
You don't buy it in the store. You Google it and you find the download links and you basically download it. It's simple to do. I did it within 2 minutes. Do you not use it yourself?
No, because I have an iPhone. You can't get it for iOS at all.
Ah, okay.
In fact, it's taken this long. Today, we saw the launch of Apple Pay here in Ireland. Look, I have it on my phone. Woohoo!
Yep.
So I can now go in and buy a cup of coffee and just use my thumbprint to buy it on my phone. But it's taken forever.
Why would you not just use cash?
But the Bank of Ireland and AIB and all of them haven't come on board yet. So get your act together, lads, will you?
Anyway, keep those comments coming in. Text us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Is Showbox on other movie streaming sites, are they morally wrong? Okay, we're talking about morally wrong. Is it morally wrong for me to watch a movie for free online later on after the show when I should be paying to go and see it in the cinema? There has to be moral issues about it, doesn't it?
Okay, would you say that movie Sing? You're probably not going to go to the cinema to see it. Are you going to watch it on that, or have you watched it on that?
Am I allowed to say? I don't know.
I'm asking you a question.
Did I watch it on
Yes,
Showbox?
yeah.
I'm not prepared to say.
My understanding, and again, we're trying to clarify this, my understanding is streaming material is not illegal. So you don't have that movie on your phone, is that right?
No, I don't. No.
So if you watch it, you're streaming it?
Yeah.
Yeah. My understanding is that's not illegal.
Well, I'm not prepared to say it.
Which means you did.
Let's just say I may have seen it, but not in the cinema.
Right, okay. You may have seen it, but not in the cinema. But it's only available in the cinema at the moment.
Okay, then I didn't see it in the cinema, but I saw it.
Yeah.
Through other means. But is it illegal? Who knows? All I know is it needs to be... and I feel sorry for people who work in the cinema because ultimately it's the cinemas that are going to lose out on business and they're going to lose out on staff. And I think people need to look at their morals and realise, no, do you not think so? I need to say...
You've already admitted that you watch Sing on your phone. So where's your morals?
I don't have any morals.
Now, you could argue that that's a movie that you were never going to go to the cinema to see anyway. Were you?
Yeah, but that's like saying I'm going to go in and shoplift a pair of trousers that I was never going to buy anyway. you know what I mean? Okay, it's a weak argument. Anyway, if anybody knows any answers to this, as I said,
we've tried.
Yeah.
We've really tried.
Now, you want to talk about Melbourne?
I do want to talk about Melbourne. When you see the green man on the traffic lights, in fact, last week...
You can't call him a green man anymore.
Well, that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
Last week on the programme on Friday with Darren, Sports Darren, when you were off last Friday, Darren was hilarious. He had me in stitches.
Had you in stitches?
Had me in stitches.
Had you in stitches? Yeah.
Over a university in the UK that wants to ban the use of the word man. So, say manhole or man-made.
Because it's putting a gender on something.
Yes, and it got ridiculous because then we started talking.
So you were talking about manholes on the radio?
We were, yeah, and then it got ridiculous
on the morning show
because we were talking about Person Chester United. Okay. You can't say Manchester anymore. Person Chester.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Darren had me in stitches.
So instead of Manchester...
Yeah, Person Chester. Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Anyway, to take it to the next level, when you go to a set of traffic lights and you want to cross the road, yeah?
Yes.
There's the little red man and the little green man.
He's a man.
He is a man,
or a woman in trousers.
Yes.
Well,
we always say we're waiting for the green man. Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, no longer. In Melbourne, in Australia, in their business district, as part of a push to promote gender equality, 10 female silhouettes are being installed at various pedestrian walking signals.
So there's a push in Melbourne. Is that what you're saying?
Pardon me?
There's a push in Melbourne.
Yes, to make basically their aim, I think, is to have 50% of traffic lights with a female figure. So she's got a dress on. Look, she's a woman.
Divine Jesus.
Okay, and then 50% with a male figure.
And that's all because of what? For gender equality, is it?
This lobby group, the Equal Crossings Initiative, comes on the eve of International Women's Day in an effort to reduce unconscious bias against women. Now, When I get to a set of traffic lights, I don't think whether it's actually a man. It's just a silhouette thing.
I don't think you care.
It's just coloured red or coloured green.
Yeah.
It could be a round circle coloured red or coloured green. And but you need
I'm less likely to cross the road if it's a female green light.
Why?
Because I'm not going to be told what to do by a woman. Now, you should cross the road now. No, I'm sorry. No.
Okay, but the decision has been met with strong criticism from the public in Melbourne and various leaders who've labelled it as excessive political correctness.
No, well, that is excessive political correctness. And is Melbourne the only place where this is happening?
They're trialling it there, yeah.
Trialling.
I mean, Melbourne is huge, and it's only in a certain district of Melbourne, only in a small part of Melbourne.
So they have to go and reprogram every traffic light to make
they
it...
have to put new glass on it, because that's all they are. They're just glass.
Because of that?
Yeah. Now, does anybody else think we should have the same thing here? We should have female level crossing women.
Oh, there's a few women, I'm sure, that would be highlighting that now on Twitter. Who are our famous feminists?
There's loads of them.
There's loads of them.
You end up rounding with all of them.
I was about to tweet them, but they all have me blocked on Twitter.
Really?
Should we start what's good for Melbourne is good for Dublin, is
Absolutely,
it not?
yeah. Well, the organiser said she hoped adding greater representation of women on pedestrian crossings would enhance Melbourne's image as one that stands for gender equality. So there you are. Should we have ladies on traffic lights here?
But again, do you get offended if it's a man in the green light? I don't get that.
Is there one woman listening to us right now who, when you arrive at a set of pedestrian traffic lights and there's a red man and a green man, you get offended that he doesn't have a skirt on? And then what happens to people who are transgender?
Oh, we should have transgender traffic lights, and then we should have gender fluid traffic lights, and then we should have what's someone called that's in between, on the way.
On the way where?
Between genders. What's that called again? Transitioning.
Yes.
So we need transitioning traffic lights.
It's gone ridiculous. One of our listeners listens to us in Australia every day, and he says this is typical Australian shite. Says Brian, who listens to us in Australia.
Where in Australia?
I don't actually know. I just know he listens in Australia.
Did somebody in Australia actually complain about this?
I don't know.
Like, did some woman go up to these traffic lights in Melbourne and say, I'm not crossing this road because a man is telling me to do it?
Maybe so.
I won't be told to cross the road by a man.
Do we want them here? Now back to Showbox and the like. Chris, you're on 98 FM. Hiya, Chris.
Hi, Adrian.
Good to hear from you, Chris.
Yeah, good to be on the show. Adrian, just a quick one. I use an online streaming app called Kodi. And through Kodi, you can literally stream practically every TV channel in the world, including Sky Sports.
Really?
And they
I doubt that's legal as well.
Well, I don't know. Because you have sort of add-ons to the app, and you have two major ones. One is called Phoenix, which is more geared towards the latest films that have been released. And you can also stream TV through them, and you can get your various Sky Sports channels, but they seem to be clamped down on them at the moment.
You see, that's a big issue, watching Sky Sports through these illegal apps as well.
What's the difference between watching a movie and watching Sky Sports?
I mean, anytime there's a big match on my Facebook timeline is full of people, any links for the match, any links for the streaming of the match.
Yeah. I actually watch my Sky Sports through a app called Zem, Z-E-M, which basically...
Again, here's the thing. We can't be seen to be condoning the use of these apps, because I'm sure Sky aren't happy about people using apps like that
obviously they're not,
to stream their content instead of paying for their Sky Sports package. But there is a very grey area here about whether or not it's legal to stream material.
No,
my understanding is that it's not illegal to stream.
Well, when you go online, if you Google it, there's nowhere that comes up that says it's illegal.
And I don't know how they could even police it. By the way, Chris, are you from Melbourne?
No, I'm not. I'm from South Africa, so a little bit further away.
I completely got that accent wrong. I thought that was an Australian accent.
Sorry, how can you not tell a South African accent?
Because he said g'day when he came on.
He didn't say g'day.
Did you not take a day?
No, he didn't, no.
No, I don't think I did. Perhaps I did. Who knows?
What do you think of gender related traffic lights?
Yeah, it's a bit madness if you ask me.
I mean,
yeah, where does it end?
Yeah, where does it end? So, but these, I'm looking at a photograph of the red lady and the green lady, and look, she has a skirt, and you'd know it was a lady.
Well, that's not true either, Adrian, because men can wear skirts sometimes. So now you're gender. What's the word?
Gender biasing.
You're gender biasing. Yeah, you're saying that only a skirt.
Right, there you go. I've had enough of this story. Good luck to it. Thanks, Chris.
Okay,
98 FM does not condone what we think may be illegal, but we're not certain is illegal. Streaming of movies and sports and everything else. But again, we offer the companies the right to come on the air to tell us whether it is or not, and no, couldn't get a spokesman.
Is Chris still
or
there?
Person.
Is Chris still there?
He's gone.
Yeah, you can't say spokesman. Spokesperson.
Spokesperson, yeah. Chris is gone. He's off the radio now.
Okay. Sorry?
He's off the radio.
Okay. The reason I was asking is because according to a story in the Mail Online today, this is bizarre. This is something myself and Adrian can't get our heads around. A survey has admitted, or men in a survey had admitted, that 2 out of 10 men have absolutely no sport but fake their interest in sport just to impress their friends and women in their life.
Really?
Yeah.
What man isn't even interested in one sport?
It says here, men nowadays, because of the macho image, are embarrassed to admit that they don't like sport. 2 out of 10 men have admitted faking their love of sport just to impress their friends and colleagues, and even go to sporting events and pretend to be interested in the sport that is taking place.
That's a bit sad, isn't it?
Why do you think so?
Well, no, I don't have an interest. I'm not mad about soccer, for example, yeah? But I do take a passing interest in it. Do you know what I mean?
I wonder, are there any
like
men...
I know Chelsea are top of the table at the moment. I have a passing interest. Man United are 6th in the table.
Okay. But you're into sport.
I'm into Gaelic.
No, just one sport.
Gaelic, yeah.
No,
yeah.
But this is saying that 2 out of 10 men have no interest in any sport. I would love to find one man in the whole of Ireland who doesn't like sport. Now, I mean no sport. Won't even watch it. Now, I have a mate that comes close. He hates every single sport apart from Formula 1, which I tell him is not a real sport. That's a car driving around the track. That's not sport.
That kind of
It's ridiculous. Have you ever watched Formula 1?
So you're basically asking, is there a man listening to us right now who has no interest in any sport?
Zero interest.
In any sport?
In any sport.
From tennis to golf to soccer to Gaelic?
Well, our mutual friend Kev. Let's just call him Kev.
Kev?
You know Kev.
Oh, Kev, yeah.
Kev.
No interest in any sport?
No interest in sport. And a couple of years ago, myself and the other lads decided to bring him to Croke Park for a GA match.
Yeah.
To try and get him into it. To try and indoctrinate him into it. Croke Park for he sat there for the whole great match, the Dublin main match in Croke Park. And he literally sat there for the whole... It was a great match in Croke Park. He basically sat there for the whole time with his arms folded going, shite.
Really?
Rubbish.
Is there any other men listening to us right now who have no interest in any sport? Now, like I said, I'm not crazy into soccer, but I do take a passing interest in it.
No, but you're into some sports.
Yes, I love going to GA matches every summer.
But that's for the drink.
No, it's not.
Well, it kind of is.
No, it's not. I actually go to watch the match.
Okay.
And would have gone last weekend, only I was working last Saturday. I'd have gone to the Dublin Mayo match, only I was working.
I know, but charity comes first.
Yes, exactly. But I do have an interest in it.
Yeah. But no, don't protest too much, Adrian. I get it. You're into sport. That's okay. Calm down. We know you're into sport. But are there men...
Is there a man listening right now who has no interest in any sport whatsoever?
In any sport?
Because I don't believe that person exists.
And sorry, to the people saying that Formula 1 is a sport, it's not. I'll tell you what Formula 1 is. You know what Formula 1 is?
You have to be very fit to be a Formula 1 driver. You have to be extremely fit. Because you actually do. The sort of pressure that the speed they drive at puts on their bodies, you have to be very fit.
No, you don't.
You actually do. Liz.
Yep.
Liz, you love Formula 1.
Massive Formula 1 fan.
Now,
Massive.
Jeremy would say, well, in fact he did say, it's not a sport.
No, like you said, they have to be incredibly fit. They do triathlons and everything.
Yeah, no, I know they have to be incredibly fit.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that. And the same with the motorbikes. They have to be incredibly fit as well.
Yeah, I know it looks really boring, but once you get into it, it's really, really, it's really like you keep wanting to watch it. It's really good.
Is it not a bit? Oh God, is it?
Is it not a bit what?
Oh.
What are you trying to say? Spit it out. You're about to say, is it not a bit of a man sport?
Adrian just said, is it not a bit of a man sport?
It is a bit of a man sport, but it's not a good thing for a woman.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
not very attractive trait for a woman to be into a man sport, I have to say.
No, really? I'm surprised when you mentioned that you love Formula One. The guys are like, "Wow, really? You're into car racing?"
It's a real turn on for a lot of guys.
I have to say, I love the women that stand at the start line.
You sexist pig.
Yeah, they're fabulous.
Why is that sexist?
You sexist pig. The ones waving the flags, the dolly birds walking around.
That's I have to be honest with you, lads.
Liz,
yeah, but the Formula One drivers are good looking.
Liz, you're a woman.
I am.
Do we need red and green female pedestrian crossings?
Are you offended when you see a man telling you to cross the road?
No.
No.
No, I have to say it wouldn't bother me. No, I don't think about it, to be honest.
And Liz,
well, there's other things. I'm normally on my phone or I'm thinking about something else.
Do we need more scantily clad women at Formula One racetracks? I think we do. You know what? When I see a woman on a Formula One racetrack, holding up the flags, yeah? That puts me in pole position. I have to say.
Why do you think Lewis Hamilton wins?
Oh, have you ever been in pole position, Adrian?
Not watching a racing match. Here's somebody who texted about Formula One, and I want to get your opinion on this, Liz. It says, Formula One is just robot wars for millionaires. A spectacle for bores who are only interested when the cars crash.
No. I've been into it for the last 4 years, and I have to say it's
what got you into it all of a sudden?
It was a boyfriend at the time who got me into watching it. He loves watching it, so I just started watching it, and it's just the story behind everything, like the rivalry between Rosberg and Hamilton. Like, it's just...
I know, but have you ever been to, what's it called?
No, I would love to.
What's it called when you go, it's not a match, what is it? What's the word for it?
The races.
The race.
A meeting.
No, I'd love to go to Barcelona. I'd love to meet Max Verstappen, actually. He's my favourite driver.
Well,
who's she talking
about? We were talking about fit racing drivers, yeah?
Yeah.
And this is from Brian. Brian, who listens to us in Australia. I found out where he lives, by the way. He lives in Tasmania.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And he says, when was the last time you saw an overweight Formula One driver? You don't.
No, because you wouldn't fit into the car.
That's exactly the point. You have to be fit. Anyway, thanks, Liz. And one last call. Peter. Hello, Peter.
Yeah, how's it going?
How are you, Peter?
Not too bad.
It says on my screen here, now I find this very hard to believe, that you don't like any sport at all.
Not at all. No, football should be banned.
Football should be banned?
Should be banned, soccer.
Right.
Too much trouble. It's just an idiot. Some guy is running about with a ball. What is sad?
You sound like a fellow I know called Al, who also doesn't like football.
A ball.
Yeah.
A guy can run about a ball.
In fact, we heard soccer being described as 22 men running around after a bag of air.
Yeah.
And that's what you think of it.
Yeah.
Would you watch rugby?
No, Jesus.
Adrian, it says on screen he doesn't like any sport.
And so hang on. The weekend after next, there's a huge rugby match on, yeah? Ireland versus England, the day after Paddy's Day.
Well, I didn't even know about that now.
Ireland versus England, the day after Paddy's Day. It's going to decide the Six Nations this year, and you've no interest in it at all.
No. I'm working with a lad here, and he's got an operation done next week in his knee. You know what he was doing? He was playing football.
And how do you get your kicks then? How do
you kick? I watch TV, a lot of American shows. That's my kick.
Yeah.
And I'm not into sports. It wasn't. My father didn't take me a football patch. And I'll tell you this. And I'm in my 40s. I've been in one international football game. That was I'm from Northern Ireland, so it was between Northern Ireland and Holland, and it was 1994.
No interest,
that's all.
No.
But my brother, he's big time. He's in football, like, big time. Like,
okay, but you're just not into, even tennis, even ladies' tennis.
What part of he doesn't like sport, don't you guess?
Nothing.
I don't know how bored it is. Tennis, Jesus, ball. Do you not?
I see.
I get more kicks than watching American shows than bloody sports.
Okay, so you get more kicks out of watching an American show than a football match. That doesn't sit well with me.
Well, put it this way, Peter. You were the only man who called or texted us to say that he's not interested in any sport.
I'm a man, says this text.
Somebody texted in, they're not real men.
You see, there's a stereotype that really, really annoys me. The whole thing about that gay men don't like sport. Every single
that's rubbish.
Yeah, it's
that's
complete
rubbish. I don't know who ever said that.
People do say that. If you don't like sport,
and
you
just
must be
finally
gay.
on Formula One, I'm a big fan of Formula One, and the concentration a driver needs for 56 laps is amazing. The slightest lapse causes you to crash.
Can I explain? No, I've played Formula One on the Xbox at 3 o'clock.
You have to concentrate.
No, I played at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm half cut. Not a bother getting around the track.
Thing.
It is.
Very quickly, Tynan, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Tynan?
How's it going?
Tynan, you also don't like any sport.
I can't stand it. And I hate the preoccupation that everyone seems to have around sport. I mean, if you mention... I watch my mates screaming at each other because they say something bad about a team you like. I just don't understand the obsession people have with it.
And do you even have a passing interest?
I've loads of other interests that are not sport related, but it doesn't mean... But I've been chastised because I don't like sports.
But who's
people think there's something wrong with me.
Who's chastising you? Who's chastising?
People have.
People do, though. People do.
Yeah, people do. They don't understand.
I agree. But you don't even have a passing interest. Like, would you be aware that the Six Nations rugby is on at the moment?
I do, because I live right beside the Aviva Stadium, so when I can't get my car in and out...
You blame the
I
rugby.
know all about it.
Right, okay. So
look at Adrian trying to convert you. Please watch rugby. So how do you get your kicks?
There's plenty of things. I love movies. I love theatre. I love acting. I like art. There's lots of other things. I don't see running around on a pitch.
It just does nothing for you.
There's absolutely nothing for me.
There's the quote of the day. I like art. I don't like sport. Thank you.
This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks.
The voice of the city.
98 FM's Dublin Talks.
Now, a lot of us suffer from some kind of OCD. Now, we're not talking about serious sufferers of OCD who have to go to doctors and stuff like that. We're talking about everyday OCD, things that you are...
We all have a little thing that we're a little bit OCD about, yeah.
No, I am actually a sufferer of OCD, as you know, Adrian, and I've been told that because of my OCD, living with me is actually quite difficult from time to time. This is no joke, by the way. This is deadly serious. That my OCD sometimes just absolutely wrecks my wife's head to the point that...
Okay, give me an example of one thing that you're...
So many
one that really annoys her.
The mat in our living room has to be completely centre on the floor, and I just can't stay in the room if it's off centre.
Really?
Yeah. So if the mat is...
And you have a young child running around who could knock off the mat?
It's a constant nightmare that she has for me. So we have wooden floors in our living room, like most people do, and the slats for the wooden floor are straight lines. And if the mat is not aligned completely with the straight lines of the wooden floor, I just can't sit in the room. So I'm up and down like a fiddler's elbow, or that's in and out like a fiddler's elbow. I'm up and down
straightening out the mat.
I'm up and down like a yo-yo, regular. Like the other night, we were sitting down watching a movie. I hopped up off the sofa halfway through the movie and just started moving the mat. And she's like, "What the hell are you doing? We're in the middle of a movie." And it's something it's very hard to explain. But a lot of us, and this isn't making light of people who are serious OCD sufferers, but as Adrian said, we all suffer that little bit of OCD.
We all have a little thing that we're a little bit OCD about.
And here's the question we want to ask you. What are you OCD about? Simply text 087 798 98 98, or you can call us on 6797 981. So the text or WhatsApp number 087 798 98 98, or you can text us, or you can call us on 6797 981. What are you a little OCD about?
Now, you were telling me a story earlier on.
Oh, about my cousin.
About your cousin, yeah. Go on, tell me about your cousin.
Now, my cousin isn't OCD at all, apart from this one thing that he's OCD about.
Right.
So he has no other OCD apart from this. Well, maybe he does. So we're in the garage the other day, and he's filling up his petrol tank. And he fills up the petrol tank, and it goes to 20. He wants to put €20 in it.
Yeah.
But it goes slightly over. You know, sometimes it's hard to control the nozzle in the petrol tank.
Yeah.
So it goes to €20.11. He can't have that.
Really?
He can only ever pay for petrol or diesel in €10 denominations. So he had to go all the way up to €30 because he just couldn't.
So what if he hadn't actually physically got €30 in his pocket?
It's never been the case. So he ended up.
He took his hand off the nozzle and it got to €20.11.
Yes.
But he had to add another €9.89 to bring it up to 30.
Yeah.
And did he get it bang on? Because it's quite hard. Like, so say if he got like €20.01.
We were in the forecourt for about 20 minutes because he kept going, little squeeze, little squeeze, little squeeze.
So it has to be bang on the 20.
That's what he's OCD about. He can only pay for petrol in €10 denominations. Has to be €10 denominations. Can't be any more. Like if you fill up his car with diesel and it was €20.56, not a hope. You just couldn't do it. That's what he's OCD about.
Okay, text or WhatsApp us 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. You can better still call us on 6797 981. Tell us what it is. Now, like we said, we're not talking about people who have a debilitating OCD condition, I actually known people whose lives are practically ruined because of how intense their OCD is.
Well, mine is on the scale.
Somebody texted in, what's OCD?
Oh, you could go back to bed.
Obsessive compulsive disorder is what it's called. We're not talking about people who
have to touch every lamppost when they're walking by.
Yeah. But
on the scale of things, my OCD would be about 5.
Oh, really?
On a scale of 10. My OCD is very, very, very bad. It's something I have to deal with on a daily basis. Have you not noticed a lot of things I'm OCD about?
Not in work, no.
Yeah, maybe I'll keep it under wraps in work a lot more. I try to keep it under wraps, but at home and again, we're late every morning leaving for work because I have to check the door 3 times to make sure it's locked before I go to work every morning. I know the door's locked.
Yeah, so knock off the...
I know the door's locked, but I have to go back and check the handle 3 times. Once isn't enough.
Okay, we want you to call us on 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. What little things are you OCD about? We all have our own little compulsions. What is it that you are OCD about? I'm OCD about the fact that your phone beeped during the show and it's not on silent.
That's not OCD, that's a completely...
Okay, I have a little one. Now, it's only a little one, but I am a little bit obsessive about it, yeah?
Yes.
I constantly clean the screen on my phone. Constantly. If I look and I see fingerprints or thumbprints on the screen of my phone, I'm out with a bit of tissue paper cleaning the screen of my phone.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, no, I do. And I do it quite regularly. I do it at least twice a day. Or look, I'll rub it up against my shirt like that.
Oh, you are always doing that, yes.
Yeah. So that's my little thing.
And you also, when we're in the office, you get your phone on the table and you rub it up and down like you're... You go that, you rub it back and forth. Why do you do that?
I don't know, it's just a thing. But yeah, I constantly keep the screen on my phone as clean as I possibly can. As spotless as possible. So we want you to share with us the little OCD things that you... so like there's somebody who is a tech... guys, I have the same OCD about filling fuel. Sorry, that's you. Is it Dec? How are you, Dec?
Not too bad, Adrian. How's things?
Good, Dec. Not a bother, thank you.
I believe that this is a big issue for a lot of people because my cousin who has this issue said that a lot of people suffer from this.
Now, Dec,
no.
Are you the same that you have to get it to a rounded off figure?
It should be. It should never be €20.01. It should be always 20 or 30 or doesn't matter. It should be round figured.
Says who?
I had this problem from ages. Whenever I go for petrol, it's hard to stop when it's €20 exactly. So I had to fill it up, make it 30 or 40, but can't stop it for €20
so
and 1 cent or 2 cents.
Oh, really? So the 1 cent would just do your head in?
Yeah, it does actually.
Well, the next time I'm in the forecourt with my cousin, I'm going to deliberately, just to piss him off, I'm going to put €20 and 52 cents into my petrol tank just to annoy him.
And even my wife is so annoyed with that. It's been she used to sit for 10 minutes, and I used to go very slow with a gun to make it the exact figure. And she was like, "It's okay, I'll pay from my card." It doesn't matter what card you pay. I don't want to see my, the transaction from fuel saying €20.01 or 2 cents.
So it is a skill to get it to stop at exactly 20.
Yeah.
Or 30 or whatever.
And mainly because of the old petrol stations, they have, old kind of the pumps.
Yes, so they're not as...
really hard.
Yeah, it is hard. But, okay, so you suffer from the exact same thing as Jeremy's cousin. You have to have it bang on either 20 or 30 or 40, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll probably wait until it's round figure, but I won't pay the amount, the small change.
Can we try?
When I fill up my car, I just squeeze the yoke, fill it up, and as soon as it clicks off, I walk away. I don't even look at what it is.
Nah, it's hard for me.
Adrian has so much money he doesn't care how much you put into the tank.
No, because I know I'm filling up the car. Okay, so I go into a petrol, and most of the time when I'm putting petrol in the car, I'm filling it up, yeah? And I just hold the yoke, dum-be-dum-be-dum, clicks off, grand. I just walk in and pay whatever it was. Whether it's €53.22, grand. No bother.
I would imagine a lot more people suffer from that petrol pump thing than you realise. I would imagine it's a huge thing.
I do like to get it rounded off to the nearest euro. But I don't lose sleep over it. Stacey, you're on 98 FM. Hiya, Stacey.
Yeah.
How are you,
Stacey? What little thing are you OCD about?
Well, it's one that I've passed on to my daughter, which is horrible. But I have a thing with numbers, and I like things like in 3s and 5s and 7s. Like, it has to have a middle to the number. But she's
what do you mean it has to have what do you mean it has to have a middle to the number?
Like, say if there's food on a plate, say potatoes or something, I have to have like 3 potatoes, or it'd have to be 5. Like, it stressed me out if there was like 4 potatoes.
Oh no, I get that. Adrian has to have 15 potatoes when he has his dinner, so it's...
But like the little one, like my little one is the opposite. She has it with even numbers. So
that must be so complicated putting out dinner on the table.
It's the thing with the TV. We row over the telly because I have to have it on like 21. But she'll have to have on 20 or 22.
Well, you know what? This is bizarre you're talking about odds and evens, because when we went to buy our house, now this is a true story, this makes me out to be a complete nutcase, but when we went to buy our house, I didn't want to buy the house because the number of the door was an uneven number. I always wanted an even number for my house door.
Really?
Well, my house door stresses me out because I only discovered that it's actually not in order. Like, I'm the first door where I live, like, I should be the number obviously before the one beside me, but the person beside me is actually their door ends in the 2 instead of, like, my door ends in the 1, but their door's supposed to end in the opposite number, if you get me. So the numbers are wrong on the door, and it stresses me out every single day.
So why don't you move?
No, they should, like, just give me the numbers off their door, but, like, I can't just knock in and ask them.
Are you an odd or an even number door?
Odd.
So the number of your door is odd?
It's all
same as me.
Yeah.
It really bothers.
And it does your head in.
Yeah, it does me.
See, I like that. If that was even, that'd stress me out. Like,
no, see, what happened was,
so if you're putting potatoes on your plate, you have to have 1, 3, 5, or 7.
Yeah, but I like the number 10, which is an even number, but in my head, it's weird. I can't explain it. It still feels like there's a middle to it.
No, I agree with you. I don't like odd numbers either. And says when we were buying our house, and none of the doors had the numbers on them because they were brand new houses, so we didn't know what number the house was when we looked at it. So we looked at the house. Oh yeah, that's a lovely house. And I only found out after we signed to buy the house
that the number had been assigned to it.
Well, the solicitor gave us the letter and they said, "Here's your address," and it was an odd number. And I went, "Oh Jesus, I can't. I don't know if I can live in this house."
It's just annoying because I don't want the baby to, like, the little one to have OCD, but now she does, and she has it really bad at the moment. Like,
well, on a serious note on this, like I said, this can be extremely debilitating for some people. It can take over their lives, and I know people whose lives.
My mum had it so bad when I was a child that it used to affect me daily, like, especially. Like, say I'd have to go to bed at 9 o'clock and she'd wake me up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because she was constantly turning on and off light switches, closing and opening doors, lifting up and closing down windows, and she'd get into the bed and then get back up and do it again. Like, and even now she locks all our doors. She lives up really high and no one can get into her house, but she locks her balcony doors and everything. And I'm like, unless Superman's going to fly in during the night, I don't see why you're locking the doors.
Why you're locking the doors, yeah.
Do you suffer from the ice cube OCD as well that I have?
What's that one?
Ice cube OCD is where you have to have a certain amount of ice cubes in your glass. I can only.
No, my friend has that.
Yeah, I can only ever have 4 ice cubes in a glass.
I have it with food. Like, I can't buy food in a deli.
And sorry, can I ask, what are you worried about is going to happen?
What do you mean?
If there's more 5 ice cubes?
No,
God forbid.
It just has to be 4.
But what if it were 5? So, okay, if you're in a bar.
Well, I was in a bar last night.
Okay, and you order a drink and he puts, he scoops ice cubes in. Are you going to count the ice cubes?
I did it because I was at a table with a load of people last night and they don't know about this particular OCD that I have. So I put the glass down to my side and just counted the ice cubes and there was 6 in it, I think, took 2 out and left 4. It's weird. You've no control over it. You've actually no control over it.
That I don't agree with. I believe there is control you can have over it if you get it tested.
No, but you don't. I could not have drank. It was a Diet 7-Up.
Yeah.
I could not have drank that Diet 7-Up and enjoyed it knowing that there was 5 or 6 ice cubes in it.
John, you're on 98 FM. How are you, John?
How are you?
Now, John, this is one I actually share with you. I never realised it was a thing, and now that I just see it up on my screen here, I realise it is a thing. Go on.
Yeah, I cannot eat a packet of crisps that are open upside down.
I can't either. There you go. I have to, if I'm having a package of Tejo, I have to open it at the top, the red part of the bag, or there's no eating them.
No. And even if I'm with someone, they open it upside down, I say, you can't eat them, they're open upside down.
But they taste the same, lads.
They taste the same, and the bag is the same, upside down is the right way up, but I didn't realise it was a thing.
Just can't do it.
And people in Australia obviously have to do it, everything's upside down, don't they?
I never realised it was a thing. So, John, I actually share that one with you. I can't open a packet.
Well, at least I'm not the only one now.
No,
yeah, but John, as far as I know, a packet of crisps, you can't open them from the bottom. It's a lot more difficult.
It's not. It's the exact same.
Is it?
They're sealed in the exact same way, top and bottom. But I can't open the bag from the bottom, even though it's the same thing. I'm with you, John. I'm with you.
Well, that's good. At least I'm not the only one.
Yeah, exactly.
How many ice cubes do you like in your drink?
As many as the barman puts in it.
Yeah, couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. Who cares about the amount of ice cubes?
Well, no, lads, having said that, if you put like 15 ice cubes into a glass, you don't taste the drink in it.
No, it's just water.
It's just water.
Thanks, John.
You know the way they do that on holidays in Spain?
Yeah. Pile it in.
You get this glass and the ice is like, it's an OCD nightmare, it is. The ice is like piled up to the top. There's enough ice in I went to Spain there a couple of months ago. There was enough ice, Adrian, in the glass to sing Titanic. It was actually ridiculous. And I said to him, we don't need that much ice. Oh, very hot outside, very hot outside. But all you're doing is watering down the drink.
He was Russian, was he?
What?
He was Russian.
No, he's Spanish. Very hot outside, very hot outside.
Sounds like Russian to me. Catherine.
Adrian, welcome back, thank God.
Thank God.
Jesus. I am sitting here, Catherine.
Anyway, how are you, Catherine?
Sorry, Jeremy. AK all the way.
Really?
See, listen.
The grannies always... The grannies always love AK, don't they?
Anyway, Catherine, what is your thing that you just can't cope with?
Coats on the banisters. Do you know what I mean?
It does my missus's head in as well. She's always giving out to me.
Christ, I mean, my hall is small enough anyway. And you can't even open the door if somebody knocks at the door. And all they say is a big hump of coats. You'd be like a lunatic.
Yeah.
So I throw them on the floor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, get them up.
Rather than telling them to not put their coats there, if they do put their coats there, you just fling them on the floor.
Yeah, and then they go out and they go, Jesus Christ, it's only a coat.
I tell you.
They have a wardrobe upstairs.
Yeah. I'd say you wouldn't mind Adrian's coat crumpled up on your floor now. What?
I would not mind.
I
would not mind Adrian's coats on my banister.
There you go, Adrian. as you walk, leave your coat on the banisters as you're walking up the stairs, Adrian.
Okay, so no coats on Catherine's banisters. Thanks, Catherine. Jeremy, okay, you're in a bar.
Yeah, by the way, you wouldn't get out of that bedroom alive, I'd say. She'd eat you up. Wouldn't you, Catherine? You'd have him for breakfast, dinner.
Anyways,
yes.
You're in a bar. Yeah?
In a bar.
You're required 4 ice cubes.
Well, no, I don't ask for it. I never say can I have.
But by chance, there's 4 ice cubes in your glass, yeah?
Okay.
And you're sipping away in your drink, and one of them melts quicker than the others. What happens then?
No, that doesn't make any difference. You see, you're not getting the OCD thing because it has to be at the start. When I first have a glass, it has to have 4 cubes. It doesn't matter what happens afterwards.
Oh, I see.
It's once I take my first sip and it has 4 cubes, that's fine. Whatever else happens then is grand.
Karen, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Karen?
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Karen. You're fussy about a lot of things.
Everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's every woman.
I was just about to say that. That's every woman, but go on.
I like when I empty my dishwasher, I like my mugs to be put back in the press in their groups. So if I have a set of mugs, I like those sets to be together.
So, but a mug is a mug.
No, it's not. Like if you have say 4 red mugs, well then all those 4 red mugs should be together in the press.
Right.
And if they're not the right way, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night time.
By the way, can I just say to both of you, people who drink tea out of mugs are scum.
Why?
Oh, tea out of a mug is disgusting.
What's wrong with tea out of a mug?
Has to be a china cup, lads.
Get a grip, will you?
No.
Yeah, old one.
Oh, no, I love
My
it.
granny's like that. She's 94.
Yeah.
And she insists of tea out of a teacup.
Do you like tea out of a mug, Karen?
I do like a china cup though. It does taste different from china cup.
Yeah, a lot of people don't believe that, but it actually tastes much nicer out of a china cup.
I've a red mug at home, yeah? It's a couple of years old, and I've a particular red mug, and it does my head in when people use it. I should just fling it out in the bin, but when I see people using it, it makes me angry.
Where did you get the mug?
I can't remember where I got it. It's an old red...
I have those red mugs too, Adrian.
Yeah, it does my head in when I see people actually using the shagging thing. Drives me mad.
But it's only a mug.
I know it's only a mug.
You know what my problem with mugs is, lads, as opposed to china teacups, is the width of the rim on the mug. It's a very big rim. Whereas on a china cup, it's like, you can sip.
Yeah, if you're 94. My granny at 94 has to have her tea in a china cup.
That's because she has no teeth. It's the only way
what's
she
your
can,
excuse?
I don't know. She can suck it out of it. That's.
Thanks, Karen.
Okay.
Well, my mother-in-law will only drink tea out of a glass cup. Now, have you ever tasted tea out of a glass cup?
I haven't seen a glass cup in years.
Oh, you can buy them in Harvey. What's the name of the store?
Harvey Norman.
No, the other Harvey's, the posher one.
Harvey Nichols.
Harvey Nichols, you can buy glass cups.
Oh no, glass cups are for scum.
I think you'll find they're not. They're quite the opposite, actually.
They absolutely are.
But taste tea out of a
glass cups are so 1980s.
There's 2 things that tea tastes manky out of: a glass cup and those ones you get on Irish Rail. What are they made out of? You know,
the paper cups.
The paper cups. Oh God.
Dave, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Dave?
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going?
Hey, Dave.
Well, I'm Adrian,
hey,
but go on. Anyway, Dave.
Dave, do you have any mugs, Dave?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah, don't touch Adrian's red mug.
No, don't. Seriously, it does my head in. I hate when people use it. Actually, I'm going to hide the thing when I go home so that nobody else can use it again.
Anyway, hang on a sec, Dave. Dave, can I ask you a question?
What?
Who comes into your house and takes the mug out of your press? You give them the mug, surely.
They might be.
No, do you not offer people tea when they come into your house?
Make your own tea.
Really? Are you one of those?
Yeah, make your own. Help yourself to the tea.
I have a mate like that. Anytime you call over to him, you know where the kettle is.
Yeah.
No, I'm the guest.
No, make your own. I'm
really?
Sorry. Anyway, Dave, tell me your weird petrol game.
Yeah, I have this kind of thing that I do when I'm putting in petrol. You know, if you say you're putting in €30 or whatever it is, and you pull the nozzle back full, and it's flying along on the thing on the actual petrol pump.
Yeah.
Well, I try to let go exactly when it's on the number that I want, if you know what I mean.
Oh, right. So there you are. So say you want to put €20 in it, yeah?
Yeah.
You hold it really tight and then...
And then let go as it gets to 20. Yeah, I've got it twice now. I've got it twice on the...
Dave, you're mad. You are mad.
No, that's a deadly game. I'm going to try that game today, Dave.
I tell you, well, lads, once you start it, it's brilliant. But I also have a bit of an OCD thing about the burgers. I have to have, if I was eating a burger now, I'd have to have it made in a certain way.
Oh, really?
Like what?
Yeah, like I'd have to have...
What, was it halal meat or something, no?
No, if I went, it's the way it's kind of presented. If I went out to, say, into a pub or whatever, and I was having a burger, I'd have to have lettuce and cheese on the bottom of the burger, and then just onions and ketchup on the top.
And would you specifically ask for that?
No, I wouldn't, but if it came out a different way, I'd rearrange it and then eat it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But a burger is a burger, isn't
it? It's not. It's all to do with the arrangement. I'm going to try your petrol game on the way home, Dave. I'm going to try.
You, lads, it's great crack.
I'm going to try and put 30 quid in.
Sounds like a hoot.
It does. Thanks, Dave.
You'll love it.
Yeah,
you'll try it the first few times and you'll get like to within a couple of cents and you'll be raging. You won't be able to...
I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to give it a go on the way home.
Okay, thanks, Dave. So just explain to our listeners, Adrian, what this mad game is again.
It is, okay, so you're
at the petrol pump.
Yeah, you squeeze the petrol pump really hard, or the handle, yeah?
Yeah.
So the petrol's flying in, or your diesel or whatever, and you set a figure. You want to stop it at 20. Or 30 or whatever it is you want to stop.
So you give yourself a figure beforehand?
Yeah. Okay. I want to buy 30 quid's worth of petrol, yeah? So you keep it squeezed tight, and as it's coming up near the 30, you let go and hope that it stops on the 30. But it could stop at 29.97. Bang, you lose the game.
What do you win if you...
Nothing, it's on your... Am I getting it right, Dave?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Dave, can I be brutally honest with you, Dave?
Yeah.
You need to get a bleeding life. for yourself.
So do you. You straighten up your mats every day.
You really do. You need to get a life.
One last call. John, you're on 98 FM. How are you, John?
How are you, lads?
Sorry about that, Dave. That fella Dave, he reminds me of the type of person that goes to the same place every year on holidays. Just goes to the same place every year.
Who goes to the same place every year?
Dave does, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah, same place every year. No variety.
Dave, do you go on holidays to the same place every year?
No.
No, you do. You sound like the type.
Well, no. In fairness, now, when I was in my 20s, I went to Florida a few times in a row. Like, but then it's like a different holiday every time you go over there. Like
it is, yeah. Like going to the same resort every year. Oh, that does my head in. Anyway, sorry,
What do you mean
John.
the same resort?
Like going to, I don't know, boring places. Cortown. Every year.
Who'd go to Cortown?
There's lots of people go to Cortown. Nerja in Spain. Every single year.
Nerja.
Whatever. Those boring places.
It's a beautiful...
Who does that?
Nerja's a beautiful little spot.
For old people, maybe. John!
How are you, lad?
John, what are you OCD about?
I've lots of things, lad, but the one that bugs me more than anything is toilet rolls.
What about them?
They have to be hanging a certain way on your holder in your bathroom, or I go bananas.
Oh, the inside-outside sort of thing.
That's one that's one you share with my dad. My old lad is exactly like that. It has to be pointing outwards.
Well, the reason for that is, Adrian, he can't even wipe his own arse. He's so old. Just to get someone
You'd
to do
say
it
that
for
to
him.
his face, would you?
I've said that. I'm brave behind the microphone. Do you hear that, Mr. Kennedy? You can't even wipe your own arse. You're so old.
Bringing you the biggest Dublin stories first.
98 FM's Dublin Talks.
Here's something else that's in the news today that really, really annoyed me. I don't know if it'll annoy you as well, but it's the news. Now, this doesn't bother Adrian at all. I was discussing this with Adrian earlier on and saying how disgusted I was, but Adrian doesn't seem bothered by it at all. But I'm very angry over it because it's the news that all prisoners are to be given the medical card on the day they leave prison as a part of a new agreement. So there you go. God, I sound like Gabe Burr there.
I was just about to say that.
There you go. Thank you very much. And there's your medical card, girl, and enjoy yourself. Thanks. Prisoners are to get a medical card when they leave prison now as part of a new agreement between the HSE and the Irish prison family. It's a move that's likely to anger families that have been campaigning for medical cards. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't have medical cards and should have them, but we're going to give them to the scum of the earth so they can have free medical
people
cards.
When they are released.
And I'm sorry, the scum of the earth, by the way, I mean people who have served time in prison for serious crimes. I'm not talking about someone who's locked up for not paying a TV licence. I'm talking about murderers, rapists, child abusers, armed robbers.
Everybody, when they're released from prison, deserves to be given an opportunity to rebuild their lives. And when you come out of prison, you have nothing.
Wouldn't be saying
when you come out of prison, you have nothing.
You wouldn't be saying that if you were a victim of crime.
When you come out of prison, you have nothing. You have literally nothing. You don't have a job. You don't have somewhere to live.
You don't deserve anything when you come out of prison.
Well, a medical card.
So you're saying crime does pay? Oh, that's what it's saying. Crime pays.
No, it's not.
So hang on, I had to go to my...
Part of the reason that they're giving out medical cards is that a lot of people who end up in prison are on drugs and the methadone program.
That's what the report says. That the need for medical card for prisoners was a huge issue, especially for people on methadone and on medication. Well, you know what? Bully for you if you're a scumbag prisoner that gets a free medical card. I had to go to the doctor last week for a procedure to be done, and I had to hand him over 60 quid for the procedure.
You've earned money.
I was in the doctor's surgery. I was in the doctor's surgery for 10 minutes. I'm not moaning about that. I love my doctor. The procedure took 10 minutes to do, 60 quid, whereas someone who goes and rapes a woman or commits murder will get that procedure for free. That just bugs, pardon my French, that bugs the shit out of me. And I don't know why it doesn't you.
Because everybody, when they get released from prison, needs a helping hand to get on with life.
Yeah, but let's see if the population of Dublin agree with you, Adrian. Because to be honest with you, your left-wing attitude lately is actually making me puke.
Okay,
because
text us right now. Do you agree with prisoners getting a medical card on release from prison? Just text yes if you agree, no if you don't agree, to 0877 98 98 98.
You are not going to find one person that agrees with you. Are you just saying that to be controversial? Oh, prisoners are great. Give them medical cards.
At what point did I say they were great?
Well, you're saying
what I did say though is
the prisoner deserves a fresh start in life.
A helping hand to rebuild his or her life when they get out of prison. Yeah,
a rapist. Yeah.
Everybody.
A rapist.
Once you've done your time.
Once a rapist, always a rapist, to be honest.
Text yes or no. Do you agree with prisoners getting medical cards on release from prison? Just text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Yes or no to 0877 98
And what was your argument? What was your argument in favour of them getting medical cards? God love them.
No, I didn't say God love them. I said everybody needs when you get out of prison, you need a helping hand. Okay?
So why don't you give one of the prisoners a job? Why don't you give a rapist a job?
Hang on for 1 second. Sorry, hang on. Oh, hang on.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I'm going to try and take 6,000 selfies between now and Sunday. Yeah?
That'd be Jesus.
Hang on. Oh my God. I don't know how I can possibly do this. Mega vain, because that's what she is. Kim Kardashian took a whopping 6,000 selfies on a holiday that lasted just 4 days. Seriously.
She must have some memory on her phone. Does she? What sort of memory on her phone has she got?
I don't mind about the memory on the phone.
Well, it is, because
she must have very strong thumbs to be taking that many. Look, I couldn't possibly take 6,000 selfies.
Yes, this is the news today that Kim Kardashian went on a 4-day holiday. So this is just 4 days. It's a long weekend, basically, isn't it? It's a long weekend, 4 days.
6,000 selfies on a long weekend.
Holy moly.
The reality TV star clocked up an average 1,500 snaps of herself every 24 hours as she was in Mexico. Seriously, talk about being vain.
Here's the thing about that family. I hate that family. I despise them and everything they stand for. They're vile, those Kardashians. They're narcissistic. I was trying to think of a word to describe, and in particular Kim Kardashian. It's narcissism, isn't it?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
That you're full of your own importance. You think you're the greatest thing in the world. You're vain. She just loves herself, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
And I've news for you, Kim. You're not that good looking either.
Here we were
How many thousand did you say?
Sorry?
Many thousand?
6,000 in 4 days.
Did you post them on Facebook?
Facebook could crash with that many photographs.
I mean, I have to say, I admire someone like Eric Katie. He's been away on holidays for the last 2 weeks, Eric Katie. And
back on Monday.
What?
Back on Monday.
Yeah, but it was away on holidays for 2 weeks, wasn't he?
Yep.
And not one selfie was posted to Facebook.
There was one. There was one.
That deserves a bullet
No,
bust.
it does. Not
Doesn't
like you, yeah. You never got off social media when you were away. Sorry, Dave, on the prisoners getting medical cards, what do you want to say?
Well, I don't think they should be getting them, but I was listening to Jensen Brown last night, and apparently the reason they're getting them is to they skip the queue and get the methadone.
Yep.
Because they need it, because apparently they're all junkies coming out, and most of them are.
Well, a lot of them are, yeah.
Yeah, and if they don't get the methadone, they're going to be out hitting you and me up and everybody else and robbing and stealing, and they're back to square one. So maybe they should only get it for the methadone and not the way yourself and Jeremy or me have to pay for a doctor, etc.
Why don't we just... Here's an idea that I don't know why they haven't done. Why don't they just put the junkies into...
On an island.
Well, yeah, preferably on an island. Well, yes, preferably on an island. Where...
Send them out to Cyprus.
No, but why don't they put them in a prison cell in Mountjoy and let them go cold turkey so they come out off drugs?
I've never understood that. I don't get that bit.
I mean, I've heard anecdotally stories of people who've gone to prison not being on drugs and they've left prison addicts. Imagine becoming a drug addict in prison.
Okay, but you believe...
They sue the state. They probably sue the state and win.
So you believe that Adrian is way off the mark here with his free medical care for prisoners?
They shouldn't get free medical care. Maybe they should just get it for whatever they need, the methadone. But no, they shouldn't get it. No.
Okay, well, we ran a very quick Dublin Talks text poll.
How did that go for you, Adrian?
Right. We asked, do you agree with prisoners on release getting a medical card? And here's how it went.
Yeah.
95% of you said no. Oh, right. 95% said no.
You're on Spike Island now. You're alone.
5% of you said yes.
I mean, it just makes my skin crawl to think of the biggest scumbag lowlife that you know. Say Danny Ward, for instance, yeah? A child rapist, yeah? The lowest of the low, not even human, a child rapist is. Does it not anger you to think that someone like Danny Ward would get free medical care before you would?
I'm working. Now, Jason, you obviously don't believe they should have medical cards when they get released.
No, it's a bit crazy, you know. And when you think of the deserving people that do need a medical card, So if I wanted a medical card, you know, all I'd have to do was not be licensed, get a month of jail, and then I get out and get one. Will I? Get one on my release.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what this would lead you to believe. Yeah.
So I go out and I cause a bit of trouble in town tonight. Get 30 days, and I get a free medical card getting out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Brilliant.
Crime.
Brilliant. I might do that.
I mean, you see all this expression in the book, and I always thought it was a sarcastic expression, but crime actually does pay.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, as I said, I had to go to the doctor the other day. 60 quid I handed over to him.
That's because you have a job and you earn money.
Yeah, because I've done something with my life. I'm not a parasite.
Here, some people end up in prison for various different reasons.
We said at the top of the show, Adrian, we're not talking about someone who does 2 days or 24 hours in prison for not paying a licence fee.
We're talking about habitual criminals.
Yes, we're talking about the scum that are breaking into houses, that are raping people, sexually abusing children. That's what we're talking about. And Adrian wants to show them a bit of compassion and give them a kickstart in life.
Yeah, basically.
Sorry, there's only one kick Danny Ward deserves, Adrian. It's not a kickstart in life. After what he did to that child.
Carly, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Carly?
Hey, Adrian, how are you?
Good, thank you, Carly. What's your view on this? Prisoners getting medical cards on release from prison?
Yeah, Adrian, I have to say, I think it's only fair. Like, they have to be knocked up. Obviously, they can't walk, right? And they would, like, meet the criteria because they've no income. So they'd be entitled to a medical card. And you know what? Is it better than them going around robbing people to pay for stuff? You know what I mean? So people need to calm down and understand, like, but that's it. They're entitled to it or they won't be getting it.
Have you ever been a victim of crime before?
Haven't we all?
No. Okay, what crime have you?
What crime?
What crime have you?
House broke into. I've had lots done.
And you would, the person that broke into your house and took your worldly possessions, you would happily give them free medical care?
I'm not giving it to them, but at the end of the day...
Well, it is. It's your... I assume...
Anyone is entitled to medical care.
I assume if you work... Do you work for a living?
Part-time.
Okay, part-time. Well, the little taxes that you're paying are now going towards the fellow that broke into your house, so you must be very proud of that.
Yeah, well, come here. And the little taxes they paid once upon a time went towards helping me when I couldn't walk.
Here, most of the hardened criminals that are in prison at the moment have never held down a job or never paid tax. They've never contributed anything to society. They're parasites. That's what they are.
Yeah, we all pay taxes. Every one of us. When you buy stuff, you pay tax. So, you know what I mean?
Okay, you think it is only fair that when a prisoner gets released, they are given a helping hand in the form of a medical card?
Adrian, I think it would bring crime rates down, and that's being out straight with you. You won't be going straight out robbing some else's handbag or robbing a wallet. Do you know what I mean? Of course it's going to have...
Sorry, you don't reward someone to stop them committing a crime. That's not how the world works, Carly. How you don't say to a prisoner...
Okay, but
you don't pat a prisoner on the head and say...
Here's where you're annoying me, and I'll tell you where you're annoying me now. You want to write off anybody who's ever been inside the doors of a prison. Write them off. They're parasites on society. Give me a break. Seriously.
I genuinely don't...
Everybody deserves the opportunity to rebuild their lives, regardless of what they've done.
Oh my God! So again, and I hate to use him as
write them off for life.
I hate to use him as an example, but Danny Ward.
Stop using him as an example.
Well, I'm going to use him as an example. He's an example. He's the lowest of the low. Danny Ward deserves a second chance. Would you let him babysit your children?
John, you're
answer the question. Would you
stop using Danny Ward as an example?
Okay, Larry Murphy then. Let's use Larry Murphy as an example.
Larry Murphy is rebuilding his life elsewhere, thank God. But
okay, let's use Graham Dwyer then.
Yeah,
another man who's in prison.
What about
him? He deserves a second chance. When
everybody deserves a second chance,
no matter how horrid.
Everybody deserves
how
a second
horrid
chance.
The crime is.
Everybody.
Unbelievable.
John, you're on 98 FM. How are you, John?
Can't believe I'm actually agreeing with Jeremy for once, lads. Like, why don't we just give them a house as well? A job straight away. Maybe win a lotto ticket. Why should they come out of prison and get bloody anything?
You see, this is the attitude that's annoying me, that you believe if somebody has been inside the doors of a prison, they should be written off forever.
Well, Adrian, I'll give you an example. I have a very close friend who has been in prison for a pretty serious crime, and you know how he got out and rebuilt his life?
How?
On his own bloody initiative. He didn't get a handout. He got nothing walking out of that prison except for what he went in with.
But sure, if I'm to go by Jeremy's rule of thumb, he's been in prison, he's a scumbag, he's a parasite, he should be written off. That's exactly what you said a minute ago.
Yes.
But he was written off by everybody. And you know what, Adrian, he went out and built his own business and he runs it now and he has people working for him. That's how you build yourself back up in society. You don't come out and say, my hand is out, can I get something free into a place? Like, who the hell does that?
Well, there you go, Carly. They don't deserve any help at all.
Well, come here, and I tell you, Adrian, I think they do, right? And second of all, I think that at the end of the day, even them rapist scumbags, right? And yes, scumbags, let's face facts, right? But what? They might use the medical card to get therapy. They might get help. Do you not understand that it's a crime prevention? Why is Jeremy not seeing that?
How is it crime prevention?
Yeah, because they're not, if they're getting their drugs or whatever it is, they should get medical card, right?
So, do you think someone
they're not going to be out robbing someone to get the medical?
And do you think someone that gets out of prison who is a repeat offender isn't going to repeat offend because they have a bloody medical card coming out?
Sorry?
If you think a repeat offender it won't repeat again just because he's getting a medical card, you're deluded.
How do you know?
Because they're repeat offenders. Like, these people practically live in prison.
I tell you, right? Any prisoner getting out, even if they were a rapist or whatever they were, right? If they're paying for how do you expect them to pay for it? They're not going to have the money to pay for it. So
you know how I expect them to pay for it?
Yeah, you haven't got any bleeding money. Are you simple or what?
No, I'm well aware of that, but I know people who have gotten out, but at the end of the day, they got on their own bloody initiative, got off their bleeding arses and stopped being a parasite on society and built themselves up.
I'm sure they're not getting the medical care for the rest of their bleeding lives. It will go if they improve their lives, and hopefully having a medical card will give them a bit of a bit more hope to improve their lives.
Yeah, and you're assuming that it won't be for life. How do you know?
Yeah, you're fucking assuming.
Mind the language, Carly.
Mind the language there. We haven't cursing you.
And what you're doing is you're assuming, right, that they're all scumbags and no one deserves a second chance, and that and they're taking advantage of a system. First of all, you can't say anyone is taking advantage, right? When it's who's giving it to them? They didn't ask for it; it's being handed to them. Stop treating
do you think they're going to tone it down?
Like some sort of parasite, right? There's people in prison that made mistakes. Hop on to yourself and give them a chance to get out.
Hold on. If someone goes into prison not paying a fine, a TV licence, a parking summons, whatever, fine, they're not bad. But you're telling me you're like a rapist or a paedophile or a murderer deserves this?
But see the way you're separating things to suit.
I'm not separating anybody. I'm telling you, anybody coming out of a prison cell does not deserve this.
A crime is a crime. Whether you're in prison for a television licence or robbing a post office, if you committed a crime and you're locked up, you
deserve nothing coming out of prison.
It's different, right?
No, you're not listening to me. You must be an airhead here, love. They don't deserve anything. It doesn't matter what the crime is. You're saying that like they should get a helping hand just so they won't commit a crime on the outside.
Well, how do you expect them to get back on their feet? How do you expect them to get
off that bleeding arse and stop committing crimes? That's how you do it.
See, John, here's where John, here's where I have the problem. I spoke to a guy on this show about a year ago. Okay, really nice fella. He went down the wrong path, ended up in prison.
What does that mean, by the way? He went down the wrong path.
No,
but people
let me finish what I was saying.
No, but I'm just saying people like Adrian like to use that expression as they got in with the wrong crowd.
You even remember this guy on the show?
Yeah, that's bull.
And this guy was appealing for a job. He wanted to put his life back together. He appealed for a job. He was a decent bloke who can't get a job because he's been written off by society.
An ordinary, decent criminal. Is that what he was? Yeah.
You remember the guy?
Yeah, I know. I remember the guy. Yeah,
and he was a nice fella.
He'd be the exception rather than the rule.
But by your rule and by John's rule, you just write them off.
Did you know 3/4 of prisoners? These are stats. These are official stats. 3/4 of prisoners in Ireland commit a crime within 6 months of being released from prison. 3/4 of them.
That shows you how much of a failure our prison system is.
And giving them a medical card is going to improve that, Adrian.
Yeah, I believe it will help, yeah.
Ah, come on, man. No,
hang on there for 1 second. Tom, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Tom?
I think John is talking through his arse, because I tell you, when you're in prison and you're locked up and you're back out again, you should get double the dole and you should get a medical card and try and teach you the right way to go. And there's no point putting someone down because they made a mistake. Help them not to make that mistake.
Yeah, raping a woman, Tom, is a fairly big mistake.
Yeah, but I'd like.
Hang on, Tom. I'd like to think.
Take rapists.
No.
Right?
Hang on, Tom.
They are not allowed to live in society again.
Tom.
So how does he expect them to live?
Tom, breaking a red light is a mistake. Raping a woman is not a mistake. So don't use the word.
But come here. Some of these rapes that you're talking about, a lot of these women ask for it, and then half an hour later it's rape. Do you know what I mean? Get her own back. There's an awful lot of criminality going on out there that you know nothing about.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that, Tom. But
there's an awful lot of innocent people living and locked up because of bad people saying that this and that happened.
Okay, so you believe that rather than, and this is the point I was making a while ago, rather than being written off by society and told you're a waste of space, you're no good to anybody, we should actually be giving prisoners more help when they get released.
Yes.
I'm sorry, did you say double social welfare for someone who's just got out of prison?
Double social welfare until you get him a job, because he can't get
Tom,
a job.
I'm sorry,
nobody will. Just listen to me.
You have to be winding us up.
Nobody will give him a job, especially if you know he's a bad crime. No one will give him a job.
You have to be winding us up. You have to be winding us up.
I'm not winding you up. He has no chance in society. He can't get a job. If he goes into 98FM and say, Jeremy, can I go on the show with you and give me so much a week? You say, get that out. Get out of here.
Okay, Tom, stay there for 1 second because I have to take a quick break.
Double social welfare, that's what Tom was saying.
Jamie, there's a text after coming in there. I think it's the guy that I was talking about a couple of minutes ago, the fellow that was looking for a job who got a job. See, can you ring him there if you will? But quick break, back in a sec. We're in the middle of a bit of a row here. Had the truth be known.
Here's a text message from Barry that I want to read out for you. It's for you, Adrian. Adrian, this is for Adrian and Adrian alone, says Barry. Will you please, for once, Adrian, just admit that you were wrong and eat humble pie?
About what?
Just admit that you were wrong and eat humble pie.
Why?
That you're after getting it wrong. You thought that public opinion was on your side, and that's why you went out there and you found out that it's not.
No.
But why can't?
I'll tell you what this is. I'll tell you what annoys me.
It takes a big man to admit he's wrong.
Jamie, did you manage to get your man? No. The fellow who was on the programme before got the job. Yeah. Oh, he's coming on in a second. Okay. We have spoken to many prisoners over the years doing radio shows together.
Yes, we have.
And not every one of them is the dirt on your shoe that you are making prisoners out to be.
I didn't use that expression.
You did. You want them all written off, completely and utterly written off from society. No help.
No, I didn't say that. The majority of prisoners in prison are nasty, bold men, bold people, and women as well. So would you not just...
Okay, so you commit a crime for whatever your crime is, you do your time in prison, and then you get released. Then what would you like to see happening with them
Okay,
then?
but take for instance a rapist. Yeah, a rapist serves his time in prison. They normally get between 10 and 15 years if you're lucky. You'd be lucky to get 15 years as a rapist in Ireland. The woman, the victim of rape, has to live with that for the rest of her life.
I understand that.
No, you don't. She has a life sentence. So why don't you do what that texter did? Just admit that you were wrong and eat humble pie. Just admit that you were wrong.
No. I believe everybody, including ex-prisoners, deserve to be propped up.
Sometimes you just get it wrong, Adrian. Sometimes you do. No, you do.
I'm not wrong this time. John, you're on 98FM. How are you, John?
How's it going, Adrian? Yeah, Jeremy, I think you're talking through your arse, to be honest with you, buddy.
Okay, why? What?
Because, like, you're backtracking on what you just said there a minute ago. You're saying that every prisoner has to be tarnished with the same brush. Now, you are only discussing the likes of Larry Murphy and serious criminals.
And that's why I keep pulling you up on that, Jeremy.
And Jeremy, and now you're backtracking with Adrian there. You're talking absolute crap because...
Okay,
hang on a second. I did say, hang on, I'm not going to be called a liar here. I said a few minutes ago I'm not talking about someone who was locked up for a speeding ticket or not paying the licence fee.
Okay, but you keep using extreme examples of...
Okay, Jeremy, someone who's got caught up in say something that, you know, say financial difficulty with, say... You know, due to the downturn and stuff like that.
Okay, John, what did you do time for? Let's cut to the chase here. What did you do time for?
I was in for a drug offence.
Okay, you're drug dealing?
Drug currying.
Oh, drug currying, lovely. Salt of the earth. Completely.
Salt of the earth. There you go.
John, excuse me for a second. Jeremy, stop being such a dickhead. The guy's been honest enough.
You're being an ass because you're not even listening.
He's been honest enough to tell you what he did and why he did it.
You know, I appreciate your honesty, but I mean,
we just before you jump on your high horse, Jeremy, would you just give me 2 seconds to explain?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. The financial difficulty came my way. I was working all my life. I worked as a sales rep. I have a good reputation of working all my life. Unfortunately, things slid down. things went bad. My job went down to a couple of days a week, and things went bad. Unfortunately, yeah, I did make a bad decision on what I was deciding to do. Which was
cry me a river, John. Cry me a river. You turn to
okay.
Sorry, hang on again, John. I'm going to cut across you for 1 second. You're a lucky. I want to use that word that I'm not allowed to use on the radio, Jeremy. You've always had a job. You've always you didn't even take a pay cut during the recession. So don't start lecturing.
Sorry, don't dare discuss my financial situation.
You didn't take a pay cut during the recession.
You don't know that.
I do. I worked in the same company as you.
Well, that's not my fault.
We didn't take a pay cut.
That's not my fault.
The point I'm trying to make. No, hang on for 1 second, John. The point I'm trying to make is you weren't hit badly by the recession like somebody like John was. And yes, he made a bad decision. Yeah, but you would write him off for life.
No, John, you sound like a decent bloke. You sound like a.
But Jeremy, if you just listen to me, Jeremy, because I educated myself when I was in prison, and I did open university. I made beneficial time of my time in prison. So what you're saying is that I don't deserve a medical card, which. With some cases, I agree, yeah, I accept that, but there's lads that they just want to get back into society, and you're right, there is a high percentage of prisoners that will reoffend, but there is lads that are in there that genuinely want to keep their head down and want to get on with their prison, get back out to their families, get back to work, and what you're saying is that they're all animals. I'd love you to do a show within the prison and see how many good people that are in there, because before you...
Sorry, John,
here's the thing, John.
You're stereotyping prisoners.
Sorry, again, John.
Absolute crap, mate.
Again, John, you're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say every single prisoner was an animal.
But you said they were scum of the earth.
No, you did. Don't backtrack. You did.
Yes, let me speak.
You're backtracking again, Jeremy. You're talking absolute shite, mate.
Sorry, a rapist and a child sex offender are animals.
You didn't say that earlier. What you said earlier, all prisoners don't deserve it. That's what you said, Jeremy.
You did.
If you go back on Who's the Jamie or something that can go back on, you'll actually hear yourself the recording of the show. You're talking absolute bull.
You said the prison is full of scum of the earth. That's what you said.
But sorry, you're tarnishing everyone with the same brush. It's the same as sometimes, even with the prison guards and stuff like that are in prison, they do tarnish them, and then when you actually see lads that are decent lads, they actually are very helpful towards them.
John, let's cut to the chase here. And as I said, you sound like a nice fella. We could probably sit down, have a drink together, and we'd be best mates.
I'm sure it would, because I've seen Jeremy out years ago when he used to do the night show. I met Adrian a long time ago.
But John, let's cut to the chase here. You were a drug smuggler. That in my mind,
he wasn't a drug smuggler
or a drug courier.
If you want to put it that way, a drug courier would be more appropriate.
Okay, we're going to get
drug smuggler. Someone that puts something in the back of his car and drives down the road and meets another fella just to get a few bob to put, to pay for bills or to do whatever.
You know what, John?
You're kind of.
Okay, John. You know what? I'll backtrack and I'll take it back. I'm not going to put all prisoners in the same category. I certainly wouldn't put you in the same category as a rapist or a sex offender. I wouldn't put you in that same category. Or as
what I'm saying is that's fair enough with them, because they are a high. Like I was listening to your show the other day about your man that got the punch on the Lewis. That fella's an animal, and that fella, and just to point out about that, remember you said about that point as well, I'm not going off it, but you said, what can the police do? Well, the likes of me or any lads, I have to go down to the police station and register that I'm a drug dealer when I get out of prison. Within 2 weeks of getting out of prison, you have to register and say that you're a drug dealer. Now, them fellas walk around free, and they say, what can police do? Police can harass them, that's what they do. The Garda can harass them, like they do lads that come out of prison who are in for a drugs offence. They will be getting stopped in their car gets, the registration, and they get harassed. So why can't them fellas get harassed? Because I do agree with that. You saw on the show the other day. They should be getting harassed.
Okay, the point I'm trying to make, that I'm making to you, Jeremy, is don't tar all prisoners with one brush.
Okay, and you know what? I'm big enough to, because it takes a man to admit when he's wrong and eat humble pie. I'm going to say, John, I shouldn't tarnish them all with the
Okay, and I'm going to give you another example. At the start of the show, we played a song from a guy, a Dub supporter. Yeah?
Yes.
We played his song, we brought him onto the programme. He's a regular caller on our show.
Yeah, an absolute gent.
Another ex-prisoner.
Yeah, I'm aware of that as well. So I suppose maybe you can't put them all in the one category.
So you're admitting you're wrong?
Yeah, I'll admit I'm wrong.
Okay.
Jeremy, if I would have got the likes of that when I got out, it would have been a big help for me. Now, thank God I'm working now and things are going well for me, and my life has got back on track. So my life is good. But a little help like that would have done me a lot of good, Jeremy. It would have been a big kick for somebody who's...
Again, John, while I don't hold drug couriers in high regard, I certainly wouldn't put you in the same category as a sex offender.
Okay, you made that clear. Stay there for a second. Anne, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Anne?
Hi, Adrian.
Hi, Anne. How are you?
Anne. How are you?
Hi.
Now, Anne, what do you want to say?
Last year, I went through 4 months of chemotherapy, and you have to pay for every single €75 for every single bit of treatment that you have. So I went to apply for a medical card, and they said no, I wasn't entitled to one. Every single day, I was on that phone begging. I eventually got one. When my chemo was finished, by the way, they just gave me a temporary one for a year, and it finishes in November. That would have cost me thousands to go through that treatment. But I'm saying, like, there's me, a genuinely sick person, and it took me months and months of begging
to get the medical card.
A temporary one.
So when you hear prisoners on release are going to get a medical card, that obviously really enrages you.
Oh, I can't. I'm fuming. Yeah.
Tom, do you understand why that might annoy somebody like Anne, who had to plead and beg for a medical card despite being genuinely very sick?
Yeah, but this is what I said all along. Everything is done wrong and half in Ireland. It's like, for instance, the toll bridge. You pay half if you come from the north, but if you come up the N4 and go to Wexford, you pay nothing. And that's the way it is. It's not properly analysed. So if Anne was properly analysed, she shouldn't have to beg for a medical card if she needs it. Do you understand me?
Tom, the prisoners didn't have to beg for medical cards.
But the prisoner has no chance of getting a job when he gets out.
I don't believe that.
No, especially if he's a rapist. If he's seen in any facility, he said, "Oh, jeez, get him out of our area."
Well, no, because Tom, the reason.
But ask her, how does he get a job?
Okay, Reid, the difference is, Tom, between a sex offence and, say, a drugs offence, is that someone like that drugs courier mule.
No, I don't agree with you at all.
Listen to me for a second.
Listen to me 1 second. You see,
Tom, listen to me for a second. Yes.
John was talking about there. You put him in a frame because it's the likes of John that has the rapist going around because he's feeding him with drugs. And the man goes off his head.
No, the difference is the difference between John's crime. No, I have listened to you for the last half an hour. Listen to me, Tom. The difference between John and a sex offender is John couriered drugs. That is not a disease of the head. He can be. Can I speak there, John? Tom? He can be cured. A sex offender, I believe, cannot be cured. I know that's a discussion for another day. So a rapist is always going to be a rapist, whereas a drugs courier can probably change their life around and put that behind them.
As can the vast majority of inmates.
So we should just take away medical cards for sex offenders then, should we? Because you at the start of the show, Adrian, said that sex offenders deserve medical cards.
I believe that everybody my point, and I'll stand by it, is I believe prisoners need a helping hand when they're released. We helped a guy get a job a couple of years ago on this show.
Okay, you won't admit you're wrong.
Who's just out of prison.
You won't admit you're wrong.
No, I won't.
9 out of 10 times you won't admit you're wrong. No, and this is one of those times. Bizarre.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
I want to paint a scene for you. A customer is in his local pub and he's sitting at the bar and he has a couple of pints. Let's say he has 4 pints and he's chatting with staff and whatever. Now the staff know him and know that he's walking out the door to get into his car after having had 4 pints. Is it the responsibility of bar staff to say, no, I'm sorry, you're not getting into your car? Well, according to Ronan on our Facebook page last night, he said pubs and nightclubs have to take responsibility and stop their customers getting into their cars. These barmen know they're serving people who are going to drive. Take the keys off them. Let's get to the root of the problem, says Ronan on our Facebook page. And I want to know, is that fair? And let's be honest, a barman serving a customer a drink would have an idea of how much drink that customer has had. Is it then down to that barman to say, I'm sorry, you've had more than your limit, or you've had more than you can drive on, I'm going to take your keys from you? Mick, you're on 98FM. How are you, Mick?
Let me start off by saying that, I would say that it is down to them. And if anything did happen, like he wrote himself off or somebody else, then I would blame the pub, the owners, the manager, every bar staff, every member in there.
But barmen and bar owners aren't babysitters, Mick.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, Adrian, they're going in, they're drinking on their premises, and at the end of the day, most of these bars have car parks, so you know who's driving up and who's parking, you know. So you know they're obviously going to be going out and getting in the car and driving away. So why don't we say, okay, the bar staff say, right, you're at the risk of writing a family off or another person off. You can have half a pint.
Oh, so limit their drinking?
Yeah, or take the bloody keys off them when they walk in the door, so you can collect the car tomorrow.
A lot of people would say, if a barman ever told me, in fact, somebody did say, any barman that tries to take my keys will get a loaf in the head.
Well, I took keys off a fella a few years back.
And was it somebody you knew, or?
No, I was working the door, and this fella came out of the pub, and now when I say he couldn't see past his nose, he was locked out of the skull. And he couldn't even get the key into the door to open it. And he didn't even realise he had central locking. So that's how drunk this fellow was.
Right, okay. So he's fairly well on,
I just walked over and I was like, hey, let me... and I grabbed the keys out and I said, listen, mate, you can't drive like that. Now, there was a taxi rank outside, so I put him in a taxi and says, off you go, come back to your keys, to be at the bar in the morning.
And did he mind?
He didn't mind at the time because he was too drunk to say anything. Like, I mean, he was legless. But the next day, I got right bollocking. Sorry for that.
What, he said, how dare you take my keys off me?
Oh, they should have heard the screams on him. So I screamed back in his face, says, what happens if you went out there and killed someone? What happens if you killed yourself? I says, if you got a bloody family, you bloody rehab. And he goes, he had no response to it. No response.
And I
challenge anybody to try and give me a decent response to that.
Okay, so you feel you were fully justified in telling this customer he's had too much to drink and that he can't have his car. Did you physically take the car keys out of his pocket?
Oh, he was there, nibbling at the door, trying to open the door with a key. And this chap had central locking in his car. That's how drunk he was. He didn't realise to press the button, open the door, and get in. And
so you spotted all this.
I walked over to him. I says, "Here, mate, let me help you there." And I took the keys out of his hand. And I says, "Now," and I spun him around. I walked him over to the taxi. And I said, "You're getting into the wrong car, man." He was that drunk. I actually put him into the taxi. And the taxi brought him home. He hadn't got a clue. He didn't.
So you didn't actually take the keys off him.
I took the keys off.
You did take the keys.
I had the keys overnight. And if I seen it again, I'd do it again. No problem.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. So you believe that there is an onus on bar staff, on security staff, on bar owners to say...
If you're directly linked to a premises that sells alcohol, then yeah, I would put the onus on every member of staff in that place. And 90%, Adrian, you get it. You know yourself, if a regular goes in, every bar staff member in there is going to know, there's Tony. Sure, he lives down the road. He's not going to be walking home. He's going to drive home. So why don't they take the keys off them? Because Tony could be dead the next day, and then it will fall back on them.
So as soon as Tony walks in the door, the barman says, how many pints are you planning to have, Tony? Well, I was going to have 3 or 4. Give me your keys.
No, the minute Tony walks in the bloody door, it should be give me your keys. Because at the end of the day, he's walking in to drink. He's not walking in to sit there and sip on water.
Again, Mick, obviously nobody should drink and drive, but is it down to a bar to say that? To dictate to you?
Nobody should drink and drive, Adrian, but at the end of the day, we don't have the police force to sit outside every bar in the country. And we don't have the police force to respond to every call within an hour. Because I worked the door, as I said, and I had one fella leave. Now, he actually got away from me, and he actually drove out. I rang the guards. And I said, Adrian, I swear to God, you should have seen this fella here. He's actually on the wrong side of the dual carriageway going up. And I was like, oh my Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's scary. And there's nobody arguing that.
I was waiting the next morning, Adrian, to wake up to see a headline. And no, thankfully I didn't. I don't know how the hell he got home in one piece, but he did. And he came down the next night drinking again.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. Jason, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Jason?
Hi,
Jason, he believes that it is the responsibility of barmen and security and bar owners.
No, I believe it's the responsibility of the person that's drinking. Now, what he's saying there, he's right to a certain extent, right? If you see somebody that's twisted, okay, then you do something. But you see, I'd question the bar people serving them in the first place. Now, I don't drink myself, right? But the people going into pubs and drinking, pubs shouldn't even have a car park. Maybe you should do away with the big car parks. But what he's saying is right.
But hang on, Jason. Lots of people go to a pub as a designated driver or don't drink.
Right, well, that's fair enough then. Okay, see, as I said, I don't drink, I don't go to pubs. But why should the onus be on the establishment to look? It's all right if the old Joe Soap, if you're in a rural pub and everyone knows Paddy the farmer sitting at the bar getting twisted. Oh, you talk about a packed out pub. How are they going to police that? You know, pubs are packed to the bleeding rafters. How are they going to police that? They're not going to be able to.
So you think this is ridiculous to put any responsibility?
Yes, it's ridiculous.
What about having somebody in the car park who sees you coming out?
Yeah, well, that's a good idea, actually.
I was actually going to say that, Adrian.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Okay, problem solved. Adrian sorted it.
James, you're on 98 FM. How are you, James?
Not too bad. How's things?
James, you got a warning over something similar.
Well, basically what it was, I started in a hotel. Now I was doing bar work for a good few years, but started in this hotel, and there was a certain customer. Now, with your hotel, you've got your guests and you've got your locals that will go in. But this chap now, people think he was like a high roller, big money spender.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was in this night now, basically, I wasn't having it because for every drink that he was having a whiskey. Now, I don't know, it's the older generation or whatever that would have a pint and a whiskey or so. But he was getting doubles as well. So at that stage,
so he was drinking a fair bit then?
Oh, he was. So at that stage, I then sort of took over and I says, I'm not serving you. You're not getting any more drink. And he then reported me.
And sorry, what was your reason for deciding not to give him any more drink? Was he locked?
Well, he was falling off a stool and just didn't know where he was. But he was just continuously drinking. But no one would say anything to him because he was spending a lot of money, which I didn't find very too nice at all.
So you got into big trouble over that?
I got into a fair bit of trouble for that because purely for the fact that they say he was a big money spender in there, and we were to serve him as much as he wanted, and I wasn't having any of it, so I just took over. And then I got the slap on the wrist to be told that...
Now, some would argue, James, that it is none of your business. If somebody goes into a pub, they're going into a pub to consume alcohol. One of the results of consuming alcohol is you get drunk. So...
Oh, no, come here, I agree 100%. It's none of our business, but at the time, it was a message that sort of hit home, very close to home, with a drunk driver that had died, his own stupidity. So it was just more so I was doing him a favour. But he didn't see it that way, because at the end of the day, he goes out of there, he could run over a child, run over someone, that sort of way. And you'll always have that conscience on you going, Jesus, I served him that drink. You'll always have that in your head. But I was just... And
as a matter of interest, do you still do bar work?
I'm only out. I've left the game now for another trade at the moment.
And did you ever do that again? Did you ever refuse to serve somebody drink, or did you ever try to stop somebody getting into their car or whatever?
Well, I've stopped people getting into their cars, and it wasn't even when I was working. It was basically I'm going over to the shop and I'm seeing people, and they're dropping their keys before getting into their car, and I've stopped them getting in. I basically have just told them, because in the area that there was a couple of bad accidents and stuff like that you're just sort of reminding them, going, listen, well, this happens here, so just walk home or get a taxi home. And fair enough, some of them will tell you to go and mind your own business, but some of them will turn around and will agree. Now, and it wouldn't be my business, but, you just want to sort of help someone out and,
Okay, but you have got people blatantly ignore you.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Stay there for a second. Stay there for a second. Paul, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Paul?
How's it going, lads?
Good, Paul. What do you want to say on this?
There's a few pubs now down my way. I live out in the country, and the guards just continuously caught people drinking and driving out of them in the middle of the night, and they've actually shut them down for a few days because of it.
Oh, because they're knowingly allowing people to get in behind the wheel of a car?
Yeah, and the guards just kept catching them like it was the same pubs over and over again.
So these publicans were knowingly selling drink to people that they knew were getting into their cars?
Yeah.
Not like a big super pub in Dublin where you wouldn't have a clue how anyone was getting home. In a small local, you'd be much more likely to know how they're getting home.
You'd know exactly where they live.
And do you believe that it is their responsibility, especially if we look at local kind of rural pubs where everybody knows everybody? Is it the responsibility of the bar owner to say, I'm sorry, John, you've been sitting at the end of that bar for the last 3 hours, you've had too much to drink?
Well, yeah, I do actually, because like down here, there's been a lot of accidents. Like, a lot of people have died behind the wheel down here, and it's not really much of an effort. Like, one thing we do now is, like, you could organise a bus, say, everybody on the bus, say, pay a £5 and everybody gets home. Happy days, like.
Okay, so there is some onus on bar staff to be a bit more proactive.
I think there could be, yeah.
And do you think it was justifiable and fair that some of these pubs lost their licences, albeit temporarily?
Yeah, I do.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. Text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. Some pubs run a minibus service, says this texter, to bring drinkers home, and they leave the car in the car park overnight. A place you may be familiar with, Adrian, the Rollstown Inn in Swords does it, or they certainly used to when it was called the Rollstown Inn. It's the Kettles now, but I'm not quite sure if they do that. Where am I going now? I'm going to Stephen, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Stephen.
Good. I think it's not right to blame somebody else for somebody's grade, first of all. But I really had a question from Mick. Is he still there?
Mick, are you still there?
Yep.
Yeah, he's still there, yep.
Mick, would somebody take the keys off you when you're emailing on the M50?
Well, I wouldn't do something stupid like that.
Yes, you would, because I was talking to you before about it, and you were talking about doing it. So you're a bit of a hypocrite, Mick, to take keys off somebody else when you're doing something 10 times as bad in my eyes.
10 times as bad emailing and then drinking.
Listen, every night I go home and there's a crash on the M50 from somebody texting or emailing on the phone. It's not from drink.
Oh, so you've gone up with your breathalyzer, have you? How do you stop and get out of the car and talk to the people? Sorry, what happened here? Maybe on the phone. You don't have a clue, mate.
Stephen, do you believe bar staff have a responsibility to stop drunk customers getting in behind the wheel of a car?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. Why should they? It's not his fault that somebody can't control their greed.
What do you mean can't control their greed?
Well, if you're drinking too much, that's not the barman's fault.
No, I didn't say it was the barman's fault that you drank too much, but isn't that the barman's fault if he doesn't stop you getting into a car?
Yeah, but how are you going to do that? You're going to go through the chap's pockets, into his pockets and take the keys off him?
Maybe.
Well, so that, if they're not theft, assault.
Or at least ask him to hand his keys over. Or at least actively discourage him from getting in behind the wheel of the car.
Well, that should be promoted, of course, to encourage him. But to take the keys off him opens a barrel of fish, Adrian.
I mean, in fairness, Mick, you can't forcibly take keys off somebody.
Well, Adrian, you know what? Let's take this a step further. You were talking to a fella who just got tongue lashed for stopping someone drinking too much, yeah? Why can't we just turn around and say, listen, bar staff, if there's someone that is so bloody incapable of standing, stop serving them, and if they don't, we'll press charges against the pub. And I'm telling you now, the owners will change their bloody minds.
But you then you wouldn't have a place.
All the pubs are closed now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Anytime you go out, bar staff saying, sorry, Adrian, you've had 3 drinks and it is our policy not to serve you more than 3
Adrian,
drinks.
As I said, if someone's not capable of even sitting on a bloody stool, then they should be cut off. The fact that bar owners are turning around and saying, oh, we want that money, keep selling until their needs cards out to be pumped out in the hospital, that's disgusting.
Okay, stay there for 1 second, both of you. We'll take a quick break. We'll take more of your calls in just a moment. We're in the middle of a conversation all to do with drink driving, but more to do with the onus that there is on bar staff, if any, to stop drink drivers getting behind the wheel of a car. Deborah, you saw something recently that annoyed you. Tell me what you witnessed.
Basically, I was asked by a friend to be a godparent to a little girl.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
And it was lovely, yeah. So I said, yes, of course I would, and I was thrilled. We went along to the church, went afterwards for a meal, and obviously the mom and dad offered everybody a drink. And I said, I'll just have a glass of shandy, please. I've got to drive from here home. I had one glass of shandy and then proceeded to have water for the rest of the day. The girl in question, her mother was there. There was wine on the table. No one else had any wine. Okay, darling. No one else was there drinking wine, basically. And her 60-plus-year-old mother, her 6-year-old plus mother proceeded to drink an entire bottle of white wine on her own.
Okay.
And I thought, fine, it's her prerogative. She's 60-plus. She knows what she's doing. I have a mum and dad myself. At that point, she then left the premises, got into her car and drove from Wicklow to Avoca.
Which are fairly treacherous roads anyhow.
Yeah.
They're not the best roads, yep.
So, and I looked at my friend and I said, not only am I really upset about this, but she's actually, I don't care about her, but she's actually putting somebody else's life in jeopardy. So her brother approached the mom and said, you've had too much to drink, right? So they were being responsible, and she said, I only drank a half a bottle. Now, I have to tell you, I sat beside that woman and watched her down.
And you know for a fact she downed the whole bottle, yeah.
Yes, the entire bottle.
And in terms, and that's fine, and I can see why that might annoy you. Did she actually go and drive in the end?
Yes.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Right.
Now, what I would say to you is the reason why I do believe the onus is on the bar staff and on the premises is that all they have to do at this time of the year when people are killing each other, basically, for want of a better word, is as somebody walks into a bar, before they even order pint, is ask them, are you staying this evening? And if they are, can we please have your keys? And when you're leaving, as long as you're not driving, we'll hand you back the keys. Give them a ticket, like for their coats. And when I used to go into nightclubs when I was 18 or whatever, you'd get your ticket when you handed in your coat and you got a meal. Why aren't they doing that anymore? Why?
So what you're suggesting is, so I go to my local later on today.
Give you a ticket, take your keys.
Take my
keys.
keys.
And if you're sober leaving, you get your keys back.
And who decides whether I'm sober or not?
I don't know, an off-duty guard who wants to earn a few bobs for himself.
I don't think they're allowed to do mixers, but
no, they're not. But
so what? I get breathalyzed walking out of the pub?
Absolutely, because you aren't putting my life in danger. I would rather you paid the tenner or whatever it costs for a cab, or get into a van, or get somebody to give you a lift rather than jeopardise my life. Thank you very much.
So you would like to see bar staff and bar owners being held more responsible. So
100%.
Okay, so I arrive at my local. How are you, Adrian? Good to see you. Gives your car keys there. So I take my keys out of my pocket and
hand them over.
Hang
you
on,
get
here
a
we
ticket,
go.
And they say to you,
There's
how long
my
are you
keys.
staying tonight, Adrian?
Well, actually, I don't know how long I'm staying. I don't know how long I'm staying.
By the third pint, they know you're too drunk to get into a car.
And
you're not
they
even
keep my
supposed to have
car,
a pint.
or they keep my keys, unless I pass a breathalyzer.
Yeah, or even, look, how much drink are we allowed to have now?
You shouldn't really have any, maybe one
there
drink.
You go. So if you've had your pint, and now you're on your second pint, and a chaser, you shouldn't get your keys back. Why would you jeopardise somebody's life? Not only are you putting at risk, my daughter was born at 23 weeks, right? We were told 3 times that she wouldn't survive. She's now 8 and making her whole communion. But why would somebody out there unwillingly get into their car with alcohol on them and put my life and hers at risk? That's just totally irresponsible. They should, first of all,
okay, so publicans need to start taking more responsibility
100%.
for ensuring that their customers don't get in behind the wheel of the car.
My friend wanted to come and visit me and wanted to stay the night. And I said, well, you can't, because my husband would flip out, right? So I actually, as part of her Christmas present, booked her into a hotel and I paid for the night. The pub that she wanted to go to was right across the road. We went out, we had far too much to drink. I sat on the sofa the next day like Jabba the Hutt, hung over to bits. But she only had a 2-minute walk back to her hotel. So if you are going out and you know it's going to be a mad one, either book yourself in somewhere or organise yourself some way home.
Okay, let me read this message. The problem with a bar taking your keys is that now the bar is responsible for your car. If your car is broken or broken into or stolen in the car park, it leaves a grey area of liability.
When you park outside a public house, like a pub or whatever, you are responsible for putting your property at risk. When you park outside your house, my mother's car was broken into last year outside her home. My father is actually in Our Lady's Hospice dying at the moment. And she left her car outside the house. The car was broken into and she's been punished because she claimed it on her insurance, right? That's a whole other shit bag of stories. But my issue is that the minute you park your car in any car park, outside any shop,
it's your own responsibility. But what you're talking about is not doing it by choice. You're talking about your keys being handed over to bar staff when you come in. And
tell me this much, Adrian. If you walked into a bar and you had your daughter with you, it was a Saturday afternoon, there was some stupid GAA match or something stupid, golf or whatever, on, and you wanted to watch it. And next of all, it's an hour in and your little girl is sitting beside you and you've had maybe 2 pints, but you still feel sober. And the local staff know you, and now the team or whoever you were supporting has won, and you have a chaser, and you stand up and say, well, actually, I'm not drunk, I feel perfectly fine. But you go outside and now you're risking your life and your child's life. Would you rather that somebody came up to you and said, look, why don't you give me your keys, I'll organise your cab, come back in the morning, or get your wife or whoever to come and collect your car because you're really too drunk to drive? Or would you rather that an object, a piece of metal that can be replaced and purchase a new one, was broken into? Which is it? Your life, your child's life, somebody else's life, or an object? Because I don't think there's anything on this planet worth a life.
All right, stay there for 1 second, because, John, you totally disagree with what Deborah is saying. Why?
Of course he does.
Under no circumstances, in any hand, act or part, should a publican whose job is to hand over alcohol that is paid for by the punter, under no circumstances should it be the job or responsibility of a publican to act as moral guardian or some sort of safety guard to somebody who is there to, excuse me, can I speak? I think we've all listened to you for long enough. Under no circumstances should it be the responsibility, or should the responsibility be given to a publican to act as some sort of safety guard or guardian to a punter inside the pub. His job is to supply the punter.
Yes, but John, there are many.
John, do you have children?
What?
Do you have children?
Do I have children? Look, I've heard this. This is boring. I've heard this question asked on any number of topics over and over again.
I can't hear you. Sorry, Deborah. Say that again, please.
I have 2 very precious children. It took me 14 years to get them. Okay? And all I'm asking is, do you have children? Would you like to think that somewhere out there, one of your children, your grandchildren maybe, John, is safe? Because some Republicans
I don't think you have to have children to have an opinion on a subject like this. But I understand somebody near and dear to you getting mowed down by somebody who hopped into a car drunk, John.
And looked at a man and said, "You've had too much to drink. Can you please come back in the morning and collect your car?" That's all I'm asking. I'm not making you responsible for somebody else.
And the publican is under no onus whatsoever to do that whatsoever. His job is to supply the punter with drink that he's paid for. That's it.
So if he gets into the car and plows into a man who happens to have his 3 children, it's the man's fault, really, not yours.
Okay, James, you believe that bar staff aren't the police?
Yeah, no, bar staff aren't the police, but the bar staff could at least ring the guard and say, here, look, there's a regular punter here and he drinks and he drives home every night.
Mind you, he won't be a regular punter for too long if the bar is going to do that.
That's tough luck. I see an old man. Well, he's old enough. He's in his late 50s. He goes home from work about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, goes into the pub and has a skin full of drink, and also does, God's honest truth, also does a couple of lines of coke because he was actually barred from the pub for doing it before. Right, gets into his van and drives 5 minutes up the road to his house. And I've rang the guards on numerous occasions and reported them, and not once have the guards even come up anywhere near him.
He's probably home by the time. He's probably home by the time.
It doesn't matter. I've given the reg, and I've told him I'll be coming down to you, and I'll report you, and I'll give you a statement and everything. And he's got into that van drunk. And you've seen him drinking.
The reality of it is, James, by the time you've rang them, it'll be too late. And even you giving a statement is not enough. They have to actually catch him.
I know, they have to actually catch him, yeah. But there's some day the pub is actually in the housing site. So there's one day, and there's kids always in the car park. So one day soon, he's going to kill a kid. And that pub should be shut down.
So, James, the onus is on them to say, no, you're not getting into that car.
Not to say not getting into the car, but say, look, you're drunk, you've had enough, don't get in there or else we'll call the guards. It's as simple as that. This chap comes out absolutely paralytic. I swear to God, he falls out the pub half the time and he gets into his van and then drives home. And there's kids in the car park, there's kids out on the road, and someday he's going to kill a child.
Yeah, you see, I just don't know how much onus or responsibility you can put on bar owners to pick up the phone on a regular, for example, and call the guards and say, John, our regular here is after hopping into the car drunk.
Why not?
You won't have many regulars for very long, I wouldn't think.
That's tough luck then, isn't it? Don't come up to the pub and then expect to drive home absolutely paralytic, and probably after taking a couple of lines of coke as well on top of that.
Somebody just texted in to say the simplest solution to all of this is to fit every car with a simple breathalyzer. If you fail the breathalyzer, the car won't start. And you know, if you think about it logically, you can buy a breathalyzer for 50 quid as an extra in a car. It's not going to cost the car company an awful lot of money, and that could be the solution, couldn't it? Car won't start if you don't have if you fail the breathalyzer. Jeremy's here with just a wrap up of text messages and WhatsApp messages and Facebook messages, and there was murder on the Facebook page over this.
Absolutely, people very upset over that particular comment made by originally by the man who started the what was his name?
That was Ronan. Yeah,
Ronan. Shocking comments he made. Craig says, let me get this straight, lads. A barman goes over to a drunk person and demands they hand over the keys. How do you think that's going to end? Well, Craig, it's going to end very badly. Have you ever tried to negotiate with a drunk person?
It can be difficult.
Usually ends up in a row, doesn't it?
And in fact, difficult.
That's the point that Anthony is making. The only thing that this will help is more rows in pubs. You will have barmen trying to grab keys away from drunk customers, and it'll end up with fights and glasses being thrown here and there. It's not a good idea. Since when did barmen become the police? Says Marvin.
And that's the point that's been made by a lot of our callers.
It's the moral police, isn't it, as opposed to... Isn't that what they are?
That's pretty much what it is,
Tony says, any barman worth his salt is hardly going to report one of his customers. They are the ones that keep him in business. Why would you cut off the hand that feeds you?
And that's the point I just made a moment ago, that you're not going to have many regulars if you are going to be calling the guards on them.
Holly says bar staff.
Sorry, that word would get out and your bar would die a death.
Oh, this is the bar that snitches on you. Yeah, absolutely. Holly says bar staff are there to work, not mind the customers. If your only way home is to drive and you end up doing it yourself, nobody is responsible bar yourself. Then again, Holly, if somebody is sitting on a bar stool, and this is a conversation we've had in the show before, if somebody's sitting on a bar stool and has been fed so much drink by the barman that they fall over and crack their head open and end up with a brain injury, who's responsible there?
Well, they will end up suing the bar.
Yep. So there you go.
Yep. All right. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
The show getting Dublin talking.
98FM's Dublin Talks.